Oh, did you guys know that they're bringing back Street Sharks?
Do not attempt to adjust your podcast player. We are controlling the transmission. We are here to be your guide, helping you to explore local events, the art scene, music, theater, sports, and possibly a conspiracy or two. All here on the GCRX Radio and Podcast Network.
Vlad, you sit next to Ryan in the room. When a new guy like him comes in and you see how hard he works and plays the right way, how much does that rub off on you and the rest of the team?
What's a rub off means?
What did he say?
What's that?
Again, we have company, so try to get the intro on time and let me know when we're.
Oh, no, you're on, bro.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Mostly Hockey Podcast, brought to you by GCRX and Alfresco Production. How you fellows doing?
Good. Chilling.
Yeah.
Good,
Oh,
good.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing good. Guys have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do, Mikey?
I watched Money in the Bank on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Is that like a
Yeah.
heist movie?
No, it's
I know.
wrestling. Shut up. man.
We went to Benson's Animal Farm
He did.
or whatever.
He
I
did
saw
go to
lions,
Benson's Animal Farm.
Lions, tigers, and bears.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Oh my.
yeah. It's some wild animal park over. I sent you a picture of a duck with hair just like Tim's.
Just like mine.
It was amazing.
Now Justin was 100% kicking it like Tiger King, like
Yeah.
100%. Everything he sent me, I was like, "Don't put an arm in there.
Yeah,
Are you
dude.
crazy?
Dude.
Does it smell like rotted Walmart meat?"
Oh,
Like-
it smelled terrible. And dude, the cages, like you could totally put your whole arm in there. It was just like, yeah, do it at your own risk, kind of thing. But
Not to get too off topic, too. How many people walking around for the staff that was injured,
multiple,
and they were
Multiple.
in
like
casts?
casts, cast, and there were, yeah. There was a lot of people just like beat up. Yeah,
Where is this place?
Somewhere in the middle of Missouri.
yeah. It's up by Stanton, Stanton, Missouri.
He told his kids,
It was cool.
"Guys, Benson's Animal Farm's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry."
Yeah.
And then he got word it might go somewhere, so he had to take him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those photos too. I was like, "That is the Tiger King, and you will never financially recover from this."
Yeah,
Jeez,
it was cool, man.
Nice.
man. So nothing. You watched that all weekend? Yeah, you good?
It was Saturday
Chill,
night.
man. This
Hung
was
out.
the first 2 days in a row I've had off in a little while, and I gotta say, the most unproductive weekend I've ever. It was amazing. Like, so much of nothing happened that I watched. You know how we always say we have all that content. There's too much content. I watched content this weekend.
Mhm.
Like, I sat on a couch. I watched all of Shoresy. I watched all of Squid Games. I know I'm behind the 8 ball on that, but like my family watched all of Squid Games, so I finally watched all
I
the Squid
didn't
Games.
watch any of it.
Wild.
Yeah.
And then I started watching like The Boys. Started finishing the newest season of The Boys, which is bad. You're out on that, right? Are you out on that?
What?
The Boys.
No, eventually I'll watch it. Dude.
Yeah?
Dude, it's too graphic to watch with
Yeah.
kids running around.
That's true.
So yeah,
That's true.
it's one of those things where I'm gonna have to watch like after everybody goes to bed. And I
It
mean,
is
dude,
pretty
do you
hardcore.
really feel like watching an hour-long TV show when you're like ready to go to bed? Like I'll
don't-
fall asleep halfway through it.
I don't watch anything when I go to bed because I
Yeah.
just crash. So, but it was nice, man. It was nice having a weekend of nothing. And we went and saw Inside Out 2,
Nice.
and it was a late show. It was nice though, man. It was nice.
Fall
There was
asleep in
not
the
that many
theater?
people. No, big old cushiony chairs though. Remote, backwards ones. The O'Fallon Cinema.
Ah, you were at Marcus.
Very nice.
Nice place.
A little tip for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just in case you want to go see a late night movie at the O'Fallon Cinema, they're gonna quit selling all popcorn at 11 o'clock, even though your movie goes until about midnight.
Yeah.
So if you want that one free refill that costs you like $35, better go get it quick.
I'm sorry, that's bullshit.
I was
That
pissed.
shouldn't be that way.
That's the fattest thing to be mad about. It's like there's no more
Yeah.
popcorn.
There's so much.
There's no more popcorn, man. So this is our last Wednesday show, man. I know we did the Wednesday gig for our summer activities. We're back at Thursdays next week. I don't know. We're a house divided on that. I know I'm down. I like
No,
Thursdays,
it doesn't matter
man.
either which day. I'm good.
Like
I
everybody
didn't
good?
mind Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't matter to
We're
me.
coming in on Thursdays again next week, which is good because all of our merch says Thursdays.
That was-
Hell yeah. Boys, we have fooled yet another person into coming on to the Mostly Hockey podcast.
Mhm.
And I got to tell you, no joke, this guy has a pretty impressive resume right there. I don't know if you see that.
Gets me every time. dude.
Every time, dude.
Every time.
So our guest tonight is the co-host of the Blues Hockey Podcast. He's a content creator, St. Louis Blues diehard fan, lover of wrestling, which we'll get to. Former St. Louis Blues intern, if I'm not mistaken. Graduating class of 2001 of St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Correct me when you get in here if I'm wrong on that. Studied at St. Louis Community College and St. Louis University. Way more college than me. No college. But most importantly, this man is a husband, a father, a son, a brother, a friend, and the guest tonight on the Mostly Hockey Podcast. Give it up for Jason Martin.
Whoa, that was quite the intro there. Tried.
Wrong button.
Wrong button. There he is.
There
Hey,
you go.
welcome to the
There you
show, man. Get it right.
Oh, thanks for
Wendy.
having me. I appreciate it. That was a hell of an intro.
Thank you, man.
I didn't even
did
know all
get
that.
your high school name right?
No, that's okay though. It's
Nailed
a
it.
hard one. It doesn't exist anymore, so that's one of the reasons why. St. Thomas Aquinas Mercy. And,
Aquinas.
yeah,
You heard Google tell me otherwise, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mikey?
it's all right though. But yeah, no, that was an old North County Catholic high school until
Nice.
2003.
2003.
Yeah, it closed then.
Oh, I got you on 2000. I just messed up.
No, I graduated 01, but it closed.
Oh,
in
okay,
03.
good. Oh, okay.
Just-
right on. Right on. Justin's like, I'm
was-
so ashamed.
I'm
This
you're
guy
over here
hits
giving,
the
you're
wrong
over here giving me
button
shit over
and-
hitting
yeah.
the wrong button. You get all kinds of stuff messed up.
The Blues internship, though, I'm right on that as well, right?
That is correct. The year after the, I guess the last lockout, I guess it was.
The
Um,
latest lockout we've had.
Yeah,
right?
the latest one that we had. I was a group sales intern. For for that season. It was one of those dream jobs that you would like I'm like, oh my god, I work for the Blues.
Right.
And literally the worst season they ever had was
Yeah.
that year. So it was
It's tough.
fun, entertaining. I got plenty of fun stories about that if we want to get into those later, but yeah,
Hey,
it's
man.
good times. At the end of the day I did enjoy it. Outside of
You-
getting a parking ticket the first night I worked, but
Oh, those
That's what it
downtown
is.
St. Louis parking tickets suck. I
Oh,
worked
they're
downtown for
worst.
so long.
They're
They
worst.
sucked.
well, they didn't tell us where to park, so I just parked where I thought
Yeah.
was nearby, and then I came out to a park. So I made
Yeah.
$7 an hour, and I worked 4 hours that night.
Oh,
And the
that
parking
paid-
ticket was $25. So I made
Yep.
$3 that night.
just say that
for
barely
working.
paid for the parking ticket, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tax was taken out. I probably didn't make
So
enough.
we
But
got-
anyway,
We got two people here that worked for the arena, man. Did you guys work there at the same time?
Yeah, we would have been there at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
no, cool.
I'd say I thought that was when I was able to go to a hockey game for $5 and sit in club.
You're
Nice.
welcome.
There you go.
Yeah,
was so good.
I was in the guest services department at that time.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was. If I guess a group sales. I got to work with a bunch of different people. That it's kind of. It was cool. Like, oh my god, I get to work with like Bernie Federico, and he was not a fan of our work apparently. So
Oh no way!
yeah.
I've heard you
everybody
talk-
has great Bernie stories. Like he's the nicest guy in the world, and I'm like the only person who has like a really bad story. So I must have caught him on a really bad night.
You got to
honestly.
hit us with that story if you can.
Oh, I can. We were one of our jobs is we had these little like postcards that we go out around these groups that we had a list of, and you go over and you give pass these cards out to people, and you say, hey, fill out these cards if you want like information on season tickets because they're trying to get people to buy tickets. We'll do a drawing at the end, and whoever gets it has a prize. Sometimes they were tickets, sometimes it was like Blues hats or it's like autograph stuff, which at the time, like it was the year they retired Al McInnes's number. So we had like Al McInnes signed stuff. So I was like, I really want to pocket this, but I can't. But we were up in one of the nicer clubs, like the really big one at the very top at like the north end of the arena, where it fits like 30 or 40 people in like this big suite, like the huge one up top. And we're in there and we're just letting everybody fill out the cards. We're just sitting there, and there's 3 of us, and we all have the same matching like collared shirt. When I guess when you pay for that type of suite, you get like a Blues person to come in and say hi. Because we saw Chris Kerber there a couple times, and we saw Brett Hall, and I think at the time, one time when Jacqueline was hurt, he like stopped by one of these booths. So at that night, it was Bernie Federko, and he comes in, and we're all standing there like, I'm like, oh, how you doing, Mr. Federko? And just being polite, and he looks at us, and he's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And I'm just like looking around like, I don't know, we're just here to do group sales. In turn, he's like, all right, and just like, then the person who was like the group's help sales kind of said, oh, here's the guy. So he did introduce, took pictures and stuff. So we was caught him on a bad night. And
oh man, that's
he must have just not wanted to be there, or something was going on. And honestly, I couldn't even tell you what game or anything it was, because most games they lost. So it might have been a game where we were getting blown out anyway.
Right.
But like I said, Airbus has great stories about him. That's the only interaction I ever had with him in the whole season.
Man.
So I don't have any other follow-up. So I had interactions with like Bob Plager and
I've never heard of
Larry
bad
Plow.
There is no bad Plager story.
Yeah.
Plager was
he was the nicest, as anybody says, the nicest guy in the world. We had a little office next to Bruce Affleck, which I can get to that later. Bruce Affleck is we're in that office. Bob Plager would walk by every time and come in and shake our hands and say, hi guys, what do you got going on tonight? We'll look at our list. And he's like, and he'd write down a suite number, a random suite number. He'd go to that suite.
Oh, it's badass. Just surprise him.
He'd come in to shake our hand and be polite. Like, what are you guys doing? He's like, oh, what are you giving away tonight? He's like, all right. He's like, oh, you got some pucks here? And he would sign a puck and stuff. He's like, oh, give this to somebody up there.
That's awesome. Yes.
Like, nicest dude in the world. Like, obviously, one of the like thousands of awesome Bob Plager stories, but like that one stood out. Yeah. You
get one Affleck or one Federko story, one bad Federko story for all the good Plager stories, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Man.
So then
Plager, like I said, I never get to meet him, which sucks, but I've never heard a terrible story about that guy. And that guy was the living embodiment of Blues pride. Like,
absolutely.
That was like Mr. Blue. I mean, like that wasn't it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he was the Blues. Like, that was those Blues. That's that photo of him holding the cup up, man.
Mm-hmm.
That moment when they helped Bobby Plager lift the cup on the ice after they won the cup, that was when I cried the most the night the Blues won the cup. Was
understandable.
Finally getting to see Plager lift that Stanley Cup up. It was just like, oh.
I'm sure you both heard like if it was a high stakes playoff game or something like that, he wouldn't watch. He'd pace, right?
Oh,
He'd pace the entire arena just about.
Seen it.
Just so that he wasn't focusing on the fact that they were losing their ass, which 9 times out of 10, as we all know, they were losing their ass.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So yeah, I've never heard a terrible bad story about Plager. The Affleck one or the Federko one that kind of sucks. Because
like I said, that's like the only bad one I've ever had. And then I've seen him walk by like, when I've just been at the arena like years past that, and he's smiling and laughing and shaking, and he shook my hand. Like, obviously he would not remember me at all, which I'm not expecting him to.
Maybe he was a little popped up.
So
too.
I was just saying, maybe just like everybody has bad nights,
right?
So I have no problem it's just a funny story I get to tell people. That's all it is at this point. So
it's well stated on this show. Like, Cujo has been nothing but nice to me through all 3 restraining orders. Yeah. Every restraining order that man gets against me, he still just looks me in the face. And he's like, hey, you bother me, kid, but it's okay. So it's when you meet your heroes, if they suck, it sucks.
Yeah.
But like I said, I got 3 autographs from him, all on official paperwork, man. It's awesome. I'm stoked.
The only the Blue that I've ever had a problem with was Chris Stewart. He was
one of our episodes is titled Chris Stewart, maybe a dick.
He was a complete dick to me. And what sucked is I paid like $20 to play a game of pool with him, and he barely even said a word to me.
He had money on the game.
He was more
watching,
worried about the football game.
100%. One of those casino or it was before the casino nights, right?
Yeah.
It was just a bar game night.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. It was the side pockets.
It was out there by Bass Pro Shop.
Yep. The Dream Night with the Blues. Yeah, I used to do that. That was like the coolest thing in the world. And then that got way too big. Yeah.
And then they switched it. Is that what took place of Casino Night after Casino Night swapped over?
So basically the Dream Knights Blues was like a lot cooler. Like you could literally walk up to guys and like either play a game or just get an autograph or get a picture, and it was like $5 or $10 or something like that for each time you did it, or whatever you wanted to donate. Like I think like behind me off to my right up to there, mostly all those cards up there from that night. I have like a Perron rookie, like Petro.
See, you dig on stuff the way I dig on stuff too.
Yeah.
The back. I've been like steady looking at your Tarasenko jersey right behind you there.
Right there, yeah.
See, Justin doesn't share that. We've talked about that before. Like the memorabilia is lost on him.
Well, I mean, I've watched the Blues for a long time, but not because I was a giant Blues fan.
You were just trying to get the Seinfeld.
I was trying to get the Seinfeld. So I would watch like the last, two periods or whatever. I didn't actually get into hockey until 2005, 2004.
Okay.
We've got
after the lockout.
Well, we've got a story in a little while. We've got a story that I actually put in here just to see if it predates your fandom or not. Because I'm not sure where it lies.
Like I said, I remember like Steven Stamkos and like Austin.
What do we say? Your Stamkos is your first enter and leaving league, right?
Yeah,
player.
Yeah. He would be my
Which was a podcast title or a podcast idea I had for off season, and here we are. So I mean, like around the room, real quick, man. Like Mikey, so Stamkos is his. I saw him enter the league, and I'm going to see him leave the league. First, he can remember. Who was that for you?
Probably Brett Hull.
Brett Hull?
I remember him coming in because I remember seeing the first time I ever saw him, I believe, was a game the Blues versus Calgary before he came here. And that he's probably the first one I remember. I mean, I remember guys like Fedorov.
Right.
I hated Detroit. I somewhat still to this day
still
hate
hurts.
Detroit.
Still hurts.
Not so much now that we won the cup.
Yeah, once they won the cup, that non-playing back check on the great one. Yeah.
You gonna be rooting for Detroit this year though? They got a pretty strong team going.
I'll figure it out. I don't know.
I don't know.
I rooted for him the year they didn't do it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like I hated Detroit, but like I absolutely loved watching Sergei Fedorov play hockey.
Who didn't, man? You got to watch that documentary, Russian 5.
It's great.
Oh, it's great.
Good.
It's so good. So good.
It's too much content.
There's so much content. For me, obviously,
it gets in the way of my video games, Tim.
Yep.
I don't have the video games in my life, and it's still too much content. Still way too much content. Cujo, obviously, it's Cujo for me. A little bit later, than Hall entered with 88 for Hall. Yeah, right, 89, 90, right there for Cujo. That's when I was a little kid watching hockey. So Cujo is my enter in first and out. So, Jason, what about you, man?
And a lot of the guys you just mentioned, honestly, like I can remember, but I think the one that stuck out because I got a puck from one of the games after he came back as a New Jersey Devil, and that would be Scott Stevens.
Nice. That's a badass one right there.
Yeah. So I remember him playing, and then I was like, oh, this is going to be like the next big thing. Because the Blues had a couple of guys, and then that, and you can say Brendan Shanahan too, because in turn that's basically who it became to a degree. So like those two guys and following them, and then if you want to go non-blue territory, the number I use for when I play hockey is 21. So I played Peter Forsberg.
Forsberg. God. Another documentary that you have to see is Unrivaled. You haven't seen that, have you?
That's the Avalanche.
Yeah.
I started it. Oh. I didn't finish it.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's a good
great
one.
That's a good one too.
You
don't play.
I got like 10 minutes.
Forsberg isn't in there a ton in that one. They focus a lot on the Detroit side of it for that one, but but Forsberg is probably like, and this came up because of the biggest. I'm off a side tangent, but the biggest trade I remember was the whole Eric Lindros thing.
Right.
Yep.
That was a huge deal for him, not wanting to go somewhere, and then really trading almost like a team's worth of guys for this one guy. So you're hyped up about this guy, and you can then kind of remember this guy. So I remember seeing, and I got literally a pack of cards that day, and I got a Forsberg rookie card that day.
No way.
So it's one of those things where I was just like, oh, maybe this guy will be good, and I just kept it, and I know it's somewhere around here, but
there you go, man.
But yeah, so that's probably my non-blue and blues, I would say.
I'll tell you what, talking about Shanny, so look at Shanny, right? And then transition into Pronger. You got to see Pronger come in the league too, right? Mm-hmm. In the same position. How crazy is that? And then how important is that D spot, Petro? Right, going to that's I never really stopped and thought about what a landmark position those D men are for the Blues. That crazy.
Yeah, almost having an elite guy is
right now
because we thought Torrey Krug was the answer to Petro walking.
Bro, did you see him level Thomas in the series and do the hair flip? That's why we signed him. Come on.
Yeah.
I still hate that move.
That is interesting as hell though, man. Like who it really it's indicative of like when you started watching hockey, right? It really tells a story of when you came in, and yeah, that's about as exactly how far behind you and I are, Justin. Yeah. Like it's crazy. It's so crazy. So like you ask my son, he's gonna be like Patrick Berglund. That was my first.
Hey,
that was my first.
Nothing wrong, Patrick Berglund. I'm a Patrick Berglund apologist outside of the allegations overseas, but still.
We went all in on Berglund for a long time because Daryl was little kid 21. Like he was all Berglund all the time, and he's obviously not so into it now, being 17. I got to see him for a half hour today. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Hey, there you go.
First time in like a week. But he's not so into it now. But like, if you ever come across a Berglund game used anything, it's less than $50. Like you could outfit a dummy with Berglund gear head to toe for about $250. So I mean, I liked him. I always thought he was a whipping boy. But so was Jackman for a long time, dude. People
gotta be one.
When everybody hated Jackman.
Yeah, it was dumb though.
So dumb.
It was the same thing why people hated Bouwmeester. He got a lot of hate too, not deserving.
Well, especially a D-man, if you don't hear him, right? You don't hear his name, and they're not talking about him. He's doing his damn job, though, right?
Yeah.
And you know me, I don't believe plus and minuses.
Yeah.
Bullshit. It's bullshit for me as a statistic in general.
Yeah.
But like, if Last Minute Blues podcast with Donnie, he explained it like when Jamie Rivers used to be on that show. They explain it the most. They call him vanilla ice cream, right? Vanilla ice cream. Who the hell doesn't love some vanilla ice cream?
Right.
Nobody ever goes right for it, but it's always there for you. That's the defenseman that we need, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what it is, man. So sure, we'll get going this year.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is that a little bit of a segue into the news?
So speaking of that, well, I'll tell you what, we got to pump the brakes just for a second because I do know Justin has a little let's settle it for us before we start getting into hockey, right? And truth be told, there is more hockey than I thought there would be. A couple 2-3 weeks after the Cup, there's still a decent amount of hockey. I was updating StreamYard in the parking lot with stuff that was going on right now. So, but. Just to kind of, I think we kind of gave you a little idea going in what Let's Settle It is. Every week, Justin brings us something. We've done the toast, right? We've done where do you cut this sandwich, which still is just maddening to me. Like real quick, Jason, you got a piece of bread, you're eating a sandwich. Yep. Where are you cutting that at?
See, I cut in half, so like square. Half.
He does the mirror.
You mirror it. Okay.
He does the mirror cut, which
that's,
is what I do.
But growing up, like I remember my grandmother, every time she made one, she cut it like long ways.
The diagonal.
Yeah. So I thought that was always like her way of doing things. So I never would do it like that because that's how she did stuff. So that's
fancy,
why,
right?
Yeah. To me, that was like, oh, I'm getting something special.
Exactly.
So I've done it like that. So I just cut it in half.
That right there is 2 of the acceptable ways to cut a sandwich. This psycho bastard over here brings up what we've called the flux capacitor cut.
Yeah, it's a Y cut.
Dude, it's insanity is what it is. You literally cut this into I wish we had the photo.
You cut a Y, yeah.
It's a 3-piece. It's a 3-piece sandwich.
Yeah, it turns your sandwich into 3 pieces.
No, that's how Ted Bundy ate sandwiches.
You get more food that way.
That's insane, dude.
You get more sandwich.
You don't get more sandwich. It's the same amount of sandwich.
It's so much more sandwich then.
You get so much more sandwich. So that's where we're at for these Let's Settle It's, and we don't know what they are until we come in. So Justin has prepared this for us. So what you got there?
All right, man. What day is appropriate to start and stop shooting off fireworks?
Boy, isn't this a regional question?
I figured it was pretty appropriate because, dude, and I'm gonna go first, man. Like,
now, when you say fireworks, do you mean guns? Are you saying guns wrong?
Yeah. Dude,
guns are allowed every day. Sir.
Obviously, the 4th of July, you're good to go. I'm gonna be nice, dude, and I'm gonna say the 3rd through the 5th.
That's where I would fall.
And
unless it falls on a weekend. If it falls on a weekend,
I was gonna say
I don't care.
It's ancillary to what day of the week it falls on. Okay, so we just got done celebrating a Thursday 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been hearing fireworks since the middle of last month.
Dude, I heard fireworks last night.
Cam Jansen.
Last night, dude.
Yeah.
I heard fireworks going off at my house.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. The 4th, if the 4th falls on a Friday, if it falls on a Saturday, it does not matter. I would give you the day and after 4th of July. Anything outside of that, I'm
calling the cops.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're an asshole.
Can I go?
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna say is whatever day 4th of July falls on, be it Thursday this year, you get the following weekend. Okay.
The whole weekend.
The whole weekend. I don't expect to not hear boom booms and pop pops until the following Monday when I got to get up for work. And let's not be doing it late into Sunday night like a jackass.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm not asking what time because I mean,
that's all over the place. But as far as days, you get the day of the 4th, whichever day that falls on. Then you get the Friday,
anything before
the Saturday,
before
and the
4th?
Sunday. I mean,
you're cutting it out.
It's who's you're gonna whoosh like
Yeah,
like what do you expect?
I'm just saying,
you know?
you're hearing something on the 2nd or 3rd. Is that against the rules?
Honestly, you know what?
You own your own town, Tim. HOA, Tim.
USA HOA?
Yeah, USA.
Oh, USA HOA. Okay. No. Well, USA HOA is a bit stricter.
Okay.
No
but
fireworks.
In the world of the norm,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take it back. It's the 4th of July, right? July 1 until the weekend after the 4th.
Real dude, that is so
That's
surprising.
Lenient. Well, I'm not gonna let you paint your house some jackass color at HOA, USA HOA, but you can blow shit up until Sunday.
That is extremely surprising from him.
Well,
I
know
thought
why?
You would be the strictest.
Because I'm in the basement.
Okay.
Because I'm down there not dealing with the fireworks.
What about you, Jason?
You see, I'm conflicted here. So depending on how it falls, let's see. So this year, like I was a Wednesday through Saturday. That's my kind of I'm okay with.
That's acceptable.
And also just to preface, I'm in St. Louis County where it's quote unquote illegal. Like we get it, it's illegal, but it's not illegal.
I think it's illegal over here in Illinois.
And actually, they just passed it to where it's more legal here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like you know. So I get it. Like people say, and my neighborhood is like not bad. So I kind of like don't really mind it too much, but mine's more of the time thing than anything. Like I'm good to like. I'm up to like 10, 10:30, 11 anyway, most nights. So cool. Hit that 11 o'clock mark. You need to stop.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed. We had somebody when I first moved out, and I'm in Baldwin now. The guy was very inebriated and shooting off mortar shells at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez.
So I had to promptly get up, walk out there, and ask him to stop. And he said, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, at the time, my daughter was like pretty young. Go back inside. He just had to be a funny guy. Kept shooting him off. So I said, "Cool, no problem."
The worst, man. The worst.
So I'm like, "All right, we'll call it." But honestly, like I'm cool the day before, 4th, 5th, and then depending on where the 6th falls. Like this year, I'm cool because a lot of the whole rain thing kind of like there's a lot of like things how it falls. Like
and I could be persuaded.
I'm cool with it.
If it rained out, I could be persuaded. What about you, Mikey? Where you at?
Kind of a little bit of the combination of both of you.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, usually for the most part.
But
like if the 4th is on a Friday,
you're good for the weekend.
Let them go. But if the 4th is on a Monday, you get the Saturday and Sunday before, and then you get Monday. If I got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning for work on Tuesday,
shutting her down
because that's not a holiday,
right?
And you're out there at 11:30, midnight, even later, like Jason was saying, no, I'm good.
No.
Stop it.
I'm so surprised by you.
Well,
Tim.
I'm not.
You're just
I'm not
so
so concerned with like I know that it's getting going outside. I know they're blowing shit up out there. I don't want to be outside. I don't want anything to do with it. You know?
Do you not like fireworks?
I like fireworks that are shot off at a riverbank by professionals. I don't like when people are shooting mortars. Like I don't like what my son went and did, which is why I didn't go with him. And I just was like the next day,
That's why I'm
all fingers and toes. Good. Like I was terrified that kid was going to blow his hands off.
Dude,
Let us not forget the Columbus Blue Jackets goalie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, dude.
For
yeah.
Christ's sakes, I sat Daryl down. I was like, there once was a promising young goalie.
He died.
You know,
Didn't
he died.
Yeah.
He died from a mortar shot to the chest. He was in a hot tub. He wasn't even the one fucking playing with him. He was just enjoying the party.
But the fact that you don't like
forgot
people
all about that.
the
Oh,
fact
it's
that
been
you
a
don't
hot minute,
like
too.
people shooting off fireworks,
I don't
I'm
like it.
surprised that you're so open to let them shoot them off for a week straight.
Well, it's
like it just makes no sense to
it's
me.
logistically going to happen. You know, like I mean, I don't. You know,
I'm
like,
saying it's not logistically what's going to happen.
when can I
it's-
shut it down?
It's what do you think is right?
And this is also in the land of USA HOA. This is something I let you get by with because you damn sure better not park on your yard
Yeah.
because I'm coming to shut that down.
That does,
Hey, John, your trash cans have been out front for 6 days, bud. Get them up there. Fireworks? No, you're good. We're okay. Yeah.
that's so weird. All right. Good.
But
I'm
yeah,
glad we settled that.
well, let's settle it, right?
Did we settle anything though?
Do we ever?
Do we ever? Yeah,
No.
it's really just
You
a
know what's
conversation
really
of
good?
what people bitch about.
What's really good with the social media team that we pay to put stuff out, when they grab the graphic of the Let's Settle It and they toss it out there, that gets talked about more than just about anything. Like
great,
everyone just starts weighing in like, oh, let me tell you how I cut a piece of toast.
Yeah.
I don't even know these people and they're out of the woodwork. So all right, we actually do have hockey to talk about. Like I said previously, I'm kind of blown away. I did not expect to be talking about this much hockey this far into the season. And Jason, like, this is what's great is you came along on an episode where we have stuff to talk about.
I was going to say, you guys look out, as the old podcaster saying goes, usually the news feed happens after you record. So
100%.
you're behind. So you're always behind. And I forgot what trade. It was one trade deadline one year where me and Chris decided to record early. Just like, we'll record early. Nothing's going to happen. And then, or it was free agent day. We recorded and the Blues signed David Perron and Tyler Bozak. I'm like, nothing else is happening today, guys. No, we're good. And we recorded.
Oh, man.
As we record, and we literally go upstairs and we're having dinner and we're doing hanging out. And then all of a sudden we get the alert that the Blues trade for Ryan O'Reilly. So I'm like,
that's
there's
right.
There's 48 minutes down the drain that I had to go back and record.
Oh, jeez.
So
I mean, and that is a little bit like during the season, since we were going weekly and everything with it rolling. Like I said, once again, I'm blown away. I got these two committed to a day of the week. But going weekly, the content was just there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, like we've said a bunch on the show before, when you tell somebody you have a podcast, I have a podcast nowadays is equivalent to I play guitar, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
People look at you and they go, fucking everybody does, right?
Yes.
But when you say I have a hockey podcast, you get one of two things when they actually do tune in, at least from our experience. When they do tune in and you circle back a few days later and ask them how they liked it, they either say, man, you guys really talk a lot about hockey, or I really like everything except for the stuff you talk about that's not hockey. There's no middle ground. So, but nonetheless, man, here we are with hockey talk. I did say on our last podcast, and I got to go back. I got to address it, man. Like I said Chris's name when I meant to say your name no less than 6 times on the last show.
Well, you're good.
But we were talking about the post that the social media department that you pay to that put up Doug Armstrong's grade for free agency. Fantastic. Like what a great talking point. And I had these guys go over it, but we wanted to know, what did you give him? That was your post.
Oh, yeah, I talked to the social media team and they gave me the heads up ahead of time, so that was good.
We use the same one.
Yeah. So
they're expensive as shit.
But yeah, it's a bunch. I didn't expect much, so I think that's part of what plays into your grade, I think, unfortunately. So, but I agreed with honestly a lot of people. I think it's a B because I think Fosca has always been he's what they needed on the fourth line. If Sundqvist isn't going to be 100% to start, he gives you a Sundqvist type player on the fourth line. And I think for the way the Blues have built, the way the Blues have played for a long time now, your fourth line is your identity where it starts, and it works its way kind of up. So if the fourth line gets going, a lot of times, like if you remember, like back in the day when they had the CPR line, remember that? It was like when the Blues couldn't score, they couldn't score, but but that's the line that got things going. And every once in a while they pop a goal in or something like that. And that's that was the Hitchcock years, but whereas low scoring. So that's kind of line you needed. And I think Joseph's been out there, Matthew Joseph. Let's point that out first.
Justin's hot on that kid.
He's
hot on that kid.
And just like I'm going to this minor rant, so I apologize. But after a team wins a cup, teams are going to try and like replicate that until a new way is kind of formed. So right now it's speed, forechecking, and hitting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of always been that, but I think speed is more the focal point than the other two at this point.
Just gets faster and faster and faster.
And you saw what Florida did. Florida, a couple of those games when they got going, like Edmonton with all their speed couldn't do anything. And so I mean, they had the speed part, but they didn't have the other two parts at times. So I think Joseph kind of got miscast there. I think he had a really good year. Then he signed the big deal and everybody got mad at him. So guys away to Ottawa, and I think he'll be a solid bottom six guy, and that's all we're expecting of him. So that's why it's a good move for nothing. You got a third round pick. You got the third round pick back that you lost a second, dumping Hayes, which was a good move there because I think just unfortunately it didn't work out. That sucks. Like it seems like he's a good dude and
mind over him. I have no idea what the hell people expected to get back from Hayes, who couldn't crack our lineup.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I had no one stopped and thought for a second. We just saved ourselves $7 million.
Yeah,
they just dumped $7 million off the $14 million, which Philly retained half of.
Yeah, so Philly's taking their half. So
right, like
whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it winds up being everything's a good move. I think we're acquiring a lot of 5 and 6 defensemen right now, so it's very odd to me, but it makes me think there's something else that's going to happen. But if not, that's a lot of competition, and maybe somebody works their way up and plays up better than you think. And I think Pierre-Olivier Joseph, I think, is interesting as he was a big time prospect with Pittsburgh for a long time and washed out. So that could be interesting. For my friend Rick, who has been on our podcast, is a big Pittsburgh guy. So he's able, excuse me, he gives a little lowdown on him, and it kind of remind me of a bigger Scott Prunovich.
Really?
That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. So he can move the puck, can skate, but other parts, playing defense and hitting, might not happen. So that's his words. I haven't really looked much at him, so we'll see. Overall, to the point where we were trying to talk 5 minutes ago, I give him a B.
B. That's pretty much in the pocket, and that's where I give him. I'll tell you what, though, those two better play together because this entire city has already dubbed them the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, that was.
Christ.
I'm telling you, I also think that Matthew could break the top 6.
Yeah,
dude, when Ottawa was like injured, when Norris was out, when Stutzel got hurt, I know when Batherson and Tarasenko were struggling, like he got moved up to the top 6 a couple times, looked phenomenal. Like I said, man, he's kind of like a baby Perron, a little dirty, a little rough around the edges, but dude's fast. And
I had them, dude. I had them to win the cup.
I know.
Like that was a pick on the show. That was my secondary pick.
He was a great streamer for fantasy. Like I'm not joking.
Do you fantasy hockey, Jason?
Oh yeah, I'm like everybody else. I run a league and do the podcast and run a league. It's we slowly expanded now, so it's actually challenging. We have 12 people now, so we used to be like if you watch the show The League, it was kind of like that for a while where we only had 8 guys, so everybody was stacked. So which stacked team is going to win? But now we have a lot of guys. So fantasy hockey, it's always a good one. I think, like you said, Joseph was definitely a good one where it gets you a little bit of everything, depending on what kind of league you run.
If Ottawa was playing,
decent
a bunch that week, he was a great one to pick up.
A stream,
especially like I said during the all the injuries that they were having.
How many fantasy leagues are you in? You run ours. How many are you in? 4.
I was in 4. I dropped out of
You dropped out of 1.
It'll be
I
3.
drug Mikey back into it to be into ours. I've only been doing it for 2 years and I'm god awful. I got my son. I made my son play. He never sets his lines and he wins more than I do.
Yeah.
So I'm up watching YouTube videos Sunday mornings, like of draft strategies and stuff. And that kid is like, "Oh, we're still doing that."
He just
he makes the playoffs. Like, it fucking pisses me off. But I think they did. I thought they did the same thing. We went over it last week or week before last. I forget.
Last week.
I thought he was solid. The contingency on this show is that Justin is waiting his entire life for the Blues to make that big marquee name splash.
Yeah.
We didn't have any superstars in this team, bro.
Yeah. That's I'm telling you, man.
We don't have them. And Jason, do you agree with this? I know I said this last year too. Or last episode. Are you in the same mindset that they're building Steen's team? So they're building the team that Steen will be GMing 2 years. That's what everything is going for right now, and at least in my opinion.
No, for sure. Because as much as people are, I love, one of my favorite things to do is read Reddit, the St. Louis Blues forum, or the St. Louis Blues Lounge on Facebook. Those are fun. They're fun.
I won't even post the show in there.
I know. It's fun. It's fun. I just like to read it. I like to see what the people kind of like. I like to see the baseline of what the people say. So it's fun.
Finger on the pulse.
But just like, Armstrong's going to be making decisions behind the scenes. Steen's going to be the face just for people are happy. And like, nah, man. When you're got a multi-million-dollar team, I'm sure Tom Stillman's not going to do that. They're basically Steen is. I mean, Armstrong's going to have his say. But I think Steen's going to have the final say, and I think Steen is like, this is the type of team that we need. And if you look at kind of how it was, what the guys that kind of acquired in Fosca and Joseph, that's kind of like prime Steen.
Yep.
If you kind of put those two together, that's kind of like how Steen was. Steen could get in on the forecheck, wasn't afraid to get dirty, could give you a solid 20, 25 goals, could play a 200-foot game, can play the power play, penalty kill, and even strength.
100%. And a hell of a lot of people coming through this Blues system are Sweden now. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, they're going heavy overseas, which is not a bad move, man. As much as like it's easy to me. It's easy to scout anybody who's in the U.S. or Canada. It's very easy because it's readily available. When you're finding guys overseas and stuff, and when you're going in on like Stenberg and Lindstein, I remember when that happened. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Right.
Like, they have like, I'm like super draft nerd over here. I'm like, you got this guy and this guy. And then you see Lindstein tear it up at the World Juniors this year and almost win Best Defenseman award. You're like, oh, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So that's.
Dude, how badass was that draft looking too inside of the Sphere?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna
insane looking.
And why are they getting away from that? That's what I don't get either. Like, it doesn't have to be in the Sphere. I get that, but like getting away from the in-person thing it's just so much cooler. Like having everybody there and having the guy walk on stage and awkward interviews afterwards are always fun to watch because they're just really awkward. And,
it's great. Oh, it's so great too when you can tell that they're never going to play for that team and they know it.
Yeah,
I love that when they're walking up and they're like, I'm not going to play for this team. But that's the best. You talk about speed, man. I don't know if you watch Shorzy, but the Italians. The last season of Shorzy, if it showed us anything, damn, the Italians are so fast. You're not.
That is one show I'm behind on. I'll be honest.
So never seen
it. It's so good. I know.
I'm telling you what, dude. Like I 100%. Like I loved Letterkenny to begin with, right? But this took Letterkenny way over. And the last season I just watched got a little dusty. It's good, man.
I'm hoping that one of these days I'll get Jamie to watch the first season. We'll just start it over and go through it. But
it is not a wife show.
Yeah, no. I was ready to say I had it on one night when the wife was just kind of like doing a couple of things around the house, and then she kind of sat down. She's like, "What the hell are you watching?" I was on the second episode, I think, of it, and I'm like, I explained it to her, and she's like, "Oh." And I told her on Letterkenny, like I was like, I'll have to watch it with subtitles.
Subtitles have to.
You have to because it's like there's this the thick accent. You just can't do it. And she's like, "Why?" I don't know. And I'm like, "Just let me have my show. I'm good."
I didn't know what the hell was going on Sunday. Not only was my wife like doing things in another room all day long, but she just kept bringing me beers while I watched Shorzy because she didn't want to watch it that much.
Well, dude, like
good move.
My wife was out on The Office for the longest time too.
Yeah.
And like I was like, no, you have to just get through like just get into it. I'm telling you, you'll love it. No joke, that's like her go-to just background show now. Yeah.
Anytime you tell me you got to get through any part of it to get to the good part, I'm almost already out.
It makes me not want to have to get through it.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean I got to do homework? I just want to drool into my TV. What are you talking about? Like homework? As forementioned, man, there is some hockey talk. We are a mostly hockey podcast, I promise you.
I was gonna say we're only 45 minutes in.
Well, we're also mostly middle-aged men talking about the TV shows and stories they watch. But so I got a couple of graphics right off the bat. Speaking of Blues, one just happened, and the other one I just think is really cool. Pavel Dimitri's son signs with. We have a soccer team here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask: Jason? Have you been to a couple soccer games?
I have, so
Okay.
I will.
So
I will, a couple
that
soccer
graphic
games and stuff. They're fun. They're a ton of fun.
Is that the team? There's a 2 next to it.
So,
City 2.
so they have basically. So a lot of the Blues have an AHL team. That's the AHL version.
Oh, okay. Still cool.
So yeah,
Still
so they
cool, yeah.
basically play on the same field and just a different day, and it's a lot of
Gotcha.
younger guys, and they're they're developing and seeing if anything
It's their
happens.
farm
And
team.
they've had a ton of injuries this last like 3 or 4 weeks. So they
Yeah.
were signing guys left and right from their minor league team to come up and just sit on the bench at that point. I think one got in the game a couple weeks ago. But the city games are, as much as I love the hockey atmosphere, especially playoff hockey and all that stuff, going to a soccer game, and we went to the Kansas City one, so like the main rival game, Sporting KC. I mean, I'm telling you what, like, my wife's not she'll sit there and watch hockey with me and, admonish me most of the time and let me watch and stuff. She was super into it and like loved it. She's not really a sports person, man. She was like, when we go to the next one.
Really?
So yeah, so she's always down to go to a hockey game whenever, but man, when she was actually like saying, hey, when can we go to another one? I was like, okay, we'll figure it out then. So it's fun. I highly suggest it.
I'm not going to lie to you. The only knowledge I have of that soccer team and that stadium is, and dude, I'm wearing a Steve's Hot Dogs Steamer shirt. Like it's a soccer themed thing, right? But I just really like the shirt. Steve's Hot Dogs, right? But the only information I really know about the soccer team in St. Louis and the arena and whatnot is what I hear on the Riz show. And I know Riz gets super pissed when they tie. But hey, it's a tie the whole game and they tied. Great. Soccer is one of those things. I don't know, man. I don't know that I could get into, but it sure as hell has a following in St. Louis, and people are super fucking passionate about it.
Jake's got season tickets.
Jake is a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
He has all the scarves.
Yeah.
Like he is in the city. But that is really cool, man. Dimitri's kid coming back. I don't know if anybody watched the Blues Hall of Fame ceremony. I watched that, and watching Dimitri's family the whole time was really cool.
I remember him watching him playing.
Yeah, you did watch Dimitri play hockey
when I was waiting on Seinfeld. Yeah,
we were waiting on Seinfeld to come on, right? No joke. That's we're old.
Channel 11.
God damn it. One other bit of blues news. This actually just happened. They had a signing like within the last hour or so.
Yep.
Look at that. What are we talking about here?
Man, that was a cool 8 years ago.
Right. Here's what I when I saw
now.
this, here's what I went. He still plays?
Yeah.
Just freshly bought out too.
Tired. It's much like when who'd they interview after the cup? That you were so pissed off because they gave Kachuk the cup after they were
Caposo.
I said he still fucking plays hockey.
Like, dude, and it's not that I hate Okaposo. I'm a Sabres fan or a Buffalo Sabres.
Sabres.
The Sabres.
That's from Jason, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's from Jason and Chris.
I got that from you. Like when you always said, "Oh, it's a Sabres."
No. That's a blues hockey podcast thing right there.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, yeah, because I listened to you guys' last episode, and you even said Sabres.
They said it on.
Yeah.
That has a funny story.
But anyways, I was a fan of Okaposo, but I'm telling you, dude, I hated the fact that he got the cup second. It should have went to Bob. Dude, I get
the
it,
order
he's
of
old
things
and all that stuff, but it should have went Barkov right to Bob. Bob is the reason that
dude,
team
like we
even survived and made it to the cup.
Like
and
we said, man.
Like
we said on the last.
See you over there shaking your head.
Yeah,
Mikey,
like we said on the last episode, if you would have watched Ray Bork lift the cup with a team that he barely touched the ice on, you get it.
I don't care.
I don't care. He said.
I don't care.
That's honestly that's really it for Blues news, man. The schedule's out, and I was going to ask, are there any notable games?
I haven't even looked at it.
I haven't even looked at it either, but I do know. Jason, are you going to the Winter Classic?
I am. So I'm very fortunate. I was able to get through Chris, I was able to get tickets for the one in St. Louis. So I was very fortunate there to sit in the rain. That was a lot of fun. I had tickets to the Minneapolis one, and then me and Chris wussed out and
I wouldn't
decided to
win
stay
for that.
home.
That was too damn cold, man.
Yeah,
No,
we decided literally about 48 hours beforehand. We're like, nope.
Did you at least get your cash back on the tickets? You get rid of your tickets?
We did get rid of tickets. I
Good.
lost about $100.
Ugh, I would have paid myself $100 to not be in that shit though.
I'll take that back. I think I said take it back. I got half, but I paid.
Yeah.
But we were able to cancel. We were driving up, so not a big deal. I canceled the parking spot and the hotel because they were cool about it. So
nice.
So it cost me $75, and I got to sit next to a fire and watch the Blues destroy the Wild that way.
Exactly, man. Yes, that's the best way. And if you got it, like I got it, you got one of the coolest damn bobbleheads ever, right?
Mhm.
The Frostbeard O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Bobblehead's so badass. The Winter Classic Frostbeard O'Reilly bobblehead. So cool. I was going to ask about notable games just because I knew you were going, but like I said, I haven't even looked at it either, man.
I know we're playing Utah in the preseason.
Oh, the Utah Hockey Club?
Yeah.
It's the Yetis, isn't it?
It's not the Yetis
No.
officially
We
yet.
wish.
and
That's a dream.
Still have not responded to the Mostly Hockey podcast submission of either the Utah the Storm and Mormons or the Soakers. They have not gotten back to us, so I don't think it's going to happen, boys. I think they're really sticking with this Utah Hockey Club thing.
Dude,
They're doing it for a year because they said they can't get enough. To me, it's very surprising. You can't get enough kind of branded together as fast as things move nowadays. It's very
Justin
hard.
will buy a Yeti hat tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
right.
want a Yeti versus a Kraken game. That's all I care about.
Oh,
All I care.
hell yes. That's your Winter Classic.
Yeah, that's what they got to have
That's
Winter
your next
Classic
Winter
for.
Classic right there.
They
And
could even do Yeti versus Avalanche, and I'd be happy with that.
oh, that'd be good too,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that would
bring
be
back
it.
the foot on the
Absolutely.
side shoulders. Oh,
Yep.
I still have that jersey with the giant foot
Giant
on the
foot on the
shoulders.
side.
Absolutely.
The crazy thing too is I saw Jamie Rivers put out a few weeks ago the color scheme of those jerseys that they put out. That's the St. Charles Chill.
Oh yeah,
The exact
Darn
same
close.
jerseys as the St. Charles Chill. Like spit for spit. It's like they were like, no one knows that's a hockey team from the past. We'll take that. I got a graphic up there about the Kraken. Speaking of, Justin, you want to throw that up for me there? It's the only one with a woman. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So first assistant coach, first technical, I guess, coach in the NHL, but assistant coach rather, on the female variety for the NHL. Justin, I know you you think that's a good move on them?
Sure.
Yeah. Justin, do you remember the first female NHL goalie?
She played for Tampa Bay, right?
here you go.
Mikey?
Yeah.
Name?
Manon Rayon.
Sister of?
Pascal.
Hell yeah.
Absolute
What?
smoke show, right?
Exhibition game against your
St. Louis Blues.
exactly score was
Don't remember.
double digits. I've got all her cards, by the way. I still have them all.
I think I have two of them. I
they
think
put
they're
out
hidden somewhere.
They put out like a cartoon card of her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty badass. I have that.
Keep waiting for them to add her in like the NHL games, but they don't.
Yeah, dude. Oh, like a throwback, like I only so my video game. We'll get there. I know I'm dragging things along, but we'll get there.
Talk, Tim.
My video game knowledge is essentially every NHL game, and that's it. So like,
There's nothing wrong with that.
and I always play those against my son, who destroys me because he plays skill stick, and I play NHL '94 logos, the button or controls, which are the button mash, right? But dude, to have her on a pick on the game, why haven't we unlocked that yet? That's not a thing at all, is it?
No, I think in the last one, I think they had some of the like Kendall Coyne, Schofield, I think was one of them. You could do a couple. There was a couple of them, but there wasn't too many.
Yeah, there was one with
her
old
on
boy from Philly.
The last one had with Zegras had
Zegras, and it had
Zegras and
a
some
lady on the front as
Yeah,
well.
Mm,
I
know.
forget her name.
I mean, they
It's
do
a
have
sister of
females in the
somebody.
game now,
Just not her.
just not
That's
Manon
okay.
Rayon. No.
Moving right along there. I'm not going to say it's a diversity hire.
But
This is not PC. I have a logo.
I'm fine with
I
it,
have
dude. What I don't want.
Who's the best person
All right.
for the damn job? I hear
No,
you.
no. I just no. What I hate about that is whenever you're gonna listen to the Kraken, it's literally just gonna be about how they hired a woman.
Well,
And dude, I don't care that they did. I just don't. I don't want the whole entire game to be
surrounded around that. I'll take
that. And
any
that's
of
what it's
that
gonna be.
over. Please, for the love of God, do not let Linda Cohen talk about hockey ever again.
Mhm.
I can't stand Linda Cohen when they were doing the ESPN version of Hockey Central, right? And I loved it, dude, because you could turn it on, you'll recap the entire league that night in a half hour. It was almost always her, and I couldn't stand it, man, because her voice is just nails on a chalkboard, and she would always do things like, "Oh, he fell down over there. Wonder why he did that." And I'm like,
It's anytime you watch
"What are
any
we
of
doing?"
when you watch any of the Boston like East Coast teams
Yeah.
play, and you have to listen to their announcer.
Oh, any other
I
announcer?
would rather listen to
We're
Linda
privileged.
Cohen
We're privileged
than ever
here.
have to hear Pierre Maguire talk on
I don't know
TV
who the hell that is.
ever
I have no
again.
idea who the hell that is.
Oh, Regis. Sorry.
Moving right along.
Oh, real quick, I'll back you
Yeah.
up just to make sure you get all the news done. So the Blues did make one change to the schedule, by the way.
Oh, really?
So Saturday games are not 7:00 games anymore.
Are they day games?
They are 6:00 p.m. start times
Oh,
now
that's
because
better. That is
apparently a lot of the fans in their little survey they sent out at the end of the year said they want to have it earlier so they can bring their family to the game so they can get home at a decent time.
Not a bad idea. I'll tell you what we could knock off is those later starts, like on the week. If I get like, you know how many times somebody's
8
like,
o'clock
"Hey man,
game,
you want to
8:30.
Yeah, you want to go to a game, man? I'll give you tickets." And I got to get up at 3:00 in the morning for work the next day. And they're like, "Yeah, it's an 8:30 start." I'm like, "Yeah."
Hey, do you know when the
No.
Blues start though? They play
When-
Seattle. Do you know what time the game is for their very first game, regular season game?
Oh, what is it?
1:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I saw this
on
yeah.
a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
I have to listen to that in the truck.
So they're trying to have which do it on Saturday. They're trying to do the whole day
Yeah.
where you're constantly watching hockey. Kind of like one of the very few things that was great about the bubble hockey was you literally could watch hockey for 12 hours a day.
That is true.
And that was the great
And
thing
I
where
did.
you're stuck
That has to be
inside
the
and you literally
only
could just
good
sit there and just have hockey on while you just do whatever, and it was great. So they're trying to do that multiple times this year. To me, if you do that every Saturday, you're going to grow the game.
Oh hell
in
yeah!
many ways, but they
If you stagger those
love
games,
to put 7 games at 7:00. So
here's the thing: they did this last year, and
I was gonna say that
yeah,
thing.
that they did this last year, and if they do, please, I hope they do this again this year, because I mean, we all know Bally's probably isn't coming back.
What was that called?
You know? So ESPN Plus did a split screen thing, and they called it they tested it out in the beginning of the year, and they called it like the Frozen Fury, and they put on like 8 games and they split screen it.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the season, before playoffs really got going, or before playoffs even started, they would let you split your screen 4 ways. So like I sent you guys a video like of the basement, all the TVs linked up, and they all had 4 games on them at the same time.
Yeah.
It was sensory overload. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was just down there by myself talking to nobody. Could you believe this?
Yeah.
You guys see this? But if they do more of that is what I'm saying. Like more of that stuff, man. So like I don't watch basketball. I should be told I don't watch any other sport. None. But I know that the go between has always been like they spend a shit ton of money on baseball. Like you compare a baseball player's salary and a hockey player's salary, it's peanuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Check out this graphic I have here, though. My God, like, really? That's real, man.
I mean, dude, it's the league though, right?
Yeah,
they
guess,
have
man.
they have a lot of
Apples to
people watching.
oranges?
A lot of people that league
That's
generates way more than hockey does.
Crazy.
And you only have 13 guys.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
I never even thought about that.
But if there's another sport to watch, I would watch probably basketball. I
Yeah?
used to watch it as a kid back in the Bulls,
Nothing.
and
I used to watch
you
it in
know.
the 90s.
Yeah,
with the
that
Bulls.
was the cool. Like it was like back in the day. It was. Do you like the Charlotte Hornets or do you like the Bulls?
that shit's based off a
And
starter
what
jacket,
color
bud.
Adidas jacket do you?
Yeah, no,
own?
that's a
Like,
starter
that was what
jacket.
it was about.
That had
Yeah,
nothing to do with
100%.
basketball. Like that was what toggles do you have and
I
what
had-
starter
I had-
jacket do you
I
have?
had the red one,
I had
and
that
I had a Muggsy Bogues.
I had a starter blues with the one that gets the one with the teeth cuts almost that they're
Yep.
selling for hats that are like $60 now. Yeah, I had one of those starter jackets, man. But that's insane. And I know like we also brought out the the contract for was it O'Shea Ohtani. Did I say that right? Did I nail that? Did I-
Nailed it. Yeah.
No, I got it right the first time.
No, you didn't.
you
But
nailed
we
it.
brought out that
got it.
contract. At least a contract like that guy right there. I mean, like he took more than a break to help the team with that contract, right? Pretty cool. That stuff blows my mind, man. Boys, do you think that we'd be talking about my man Matt this far into the offseason?
I was.
What did you do this time?
Oh my man Matt. So I got a video. My man Matt, he's out there doing that hockey. All right. He is taking and teaching fighting lessons this year, like this offseason. He's out there with the Alberta Boxing Club teaching them how to hockey fight. And I got a video on that. We'll get back to that just a second. Play that video first. Check this out. This is him in the offseason, man. This is how you fight, boys. He's just showing them. But yeah, what the graphic you threw up is the more thing that's going on. So he's training. Who's that, Mikey?
Is that Georges Laraque?
You're damn right it is.
Oh.
So he's training 2 NHLers for specifically fighting this offseason right now.
That's awesome.
Justin, do you know who that is? This is what I was talking about earlier. This is a good landmark of do you know who that is?
I thought he was the lead singer for The Urge.
You son of a bitch. It's Steve fucking Ewing. And not where I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to go Seven Dust.
Yeah, it could be him too. Yeah, I love that song Black. You do know him. Whether you watch him play hockey or not, you do know him. And I have a video that I'd like you to watch of him fighting. And you're not going to take much away from it because it's just him putting his fist through people's faces. But while you watch this video, you probably know him from a movie called Goon. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the fourth line, and already Laraque and Bogart, and here we go. Laraque and Bogart, 6'7" Derek Bogarty tips in at 270. Georges Laraque, they've been talking about it all morning here, and they're just eyeing each other up. Bogarty from Randy Laraque gets the left in, and Bogart is down. Oh, Bogart just clocked by a Laraque left, and down he went. He's up pretty quick, though, but it was good night, Gracie, for a bit there.
God, what I love the most is watching somebody who never watched that live, and he goes, "Oh God!"
Yeah, he got him good.
I love it so much, man.
And the best thing is that is one of the only times you ever saw somebody get the better of Derek Bogart.
The boogie man? Are you shitting
mess
me?
with?
He was in Goon. They were in the green jerseys.
And when he fought him, he goes, "He's a nice guy."
Yeah.
I forget his name in the movie, but in all reality, he is a nice guy from everything I gather.
Absolutely.
Like. Dude, just put his fist through people's faces, man. There's a fight out there that I couldn't upload of him and Stu Grimson.
It's a big part. Like it's something that needs to have. That's why Rempe is so good for the league, man.
My man Matt. I don't put other hockey logos on my body now that Cujo doesn't play hockey. I don't do it. Yeah. It's just something I don't do. I have a ton of different Blues hats, but I don't put other logos on my body. I would get a Rempe something. Like that's the only one I think, because my man Matt,
my Rangers hat is probably my second most worn hat. I think.
What do you think, Jason, about him coming up and doing his thing last season?
You know, it definitely got people talking. So I have no problem. Like I legit is one of the few main people that don't care if whatever fighting happens, whatever. I hate stage stuff. Like every once in a while, winning okay, I take it back. Stage stuff is like a mild one to me. The big one is like when it's a legit clean hit and then somebody jumps.
Yes.
Like that's
I don't like that at all.
Guy's head off. That's
See,
I get that the police things or whatever, but compared to what it was like 90s and 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you barely lay your stick on a guy depending on the ref, and get a hooking penalty now, like compared to before the stick checking out of control.
I'll tell you what, I kind of attribute that stuff too is like the kids, the people who are 10 years younger than me. I feel like they're not brought up. You know, Jamie Rivers big on this podcast too, has no idea about it. But Jamie Rivers talks a lot about when he's, because he runs Synergy Hockey, and when he's teaching kids and stuff like that, like that's part of it. That's important. Like taking a hit and receiving a hit's important, but I don't think that's taught like on the spectrum throughout all of junior, like in Pee Wee hockey. Those kids don't know how to take hits or get hits. So every hit is a dirty hit. It doesn't matter, right? Like every time someone gets hit in the NHL, depending on how that kid was taught, oh, it's a dirty hit. And if he's a tough guy, he's going after him, right?
Yeah.
What I really like about my man Matt is he knows when to hold him and he knows when to fold him.
Yeah.
Like I love when he looks back at the bench, he's like, Coach, can I do it?
Yeah.
No, Coach said no. Coach said no. Like
do it.
I love that shit, man.
He was the highlight of this season.
Yeah,
big,
sure,
a big
man.
one at least.
Little tiny bit more of hockey. I got to wrap up here. Did you guys see what's going on with Swayman in Boston? So they were set to go to arbitration. Jason, you know anything?
I
on
did
there?
see this.
I didn't see the latest thing yet. No.
So they all collectively neglected to go forward to arbitration, which is typically great, right? That means you're going to come to a deal. That means things are going to get worked out. However, if they don't do so before December 1st, Swayman will have to set the rest of the year. So if they don't have a deal in place by December 1st, like them negotiating to not go through with arbitration means he would set the rest of the year.
Yeah, they'll get it done.
Oh, they'll
Let's
have
hope,
it done
man.
before
Yeah.
the preseason.
Gotta have it
starts.
done, right? You just
They'll
sent
probably
out,
have it done before they even talked
just
about
sent
going to
out
training camp.
Hallmark. He's gone. Like,
Yeah,
which I hated them breaking that tandem up, man.
So
as
did
much as I
but
hate
you
Boston,
had to.
you know,
You had to break that tandem.
Yeah.
up.
tandem goalie.
They
Jason,
picked the better
like,
one, dude. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Jason, tandem goalie. Halak, Elliott. That's kind of I think where we stand as a show. Like that was
No, I mean, I think that's just having a workhorse is kind of like a thing of the past now. I think that's what hurt Bennington the last 2 years before Hofer came along. I think he didn't have a trusted, like Grice wasn't a trusted guy. I mean,
Right.
Look back and
Christ.
Greasy,
nobody
crazy.
really had, somebody who was really you could put in there and you think you could win the game. Like they kind of had Grice in there just so that somebody just to give him a breather, basically. So I think having Hofer and you can have, Bennington struggles a little bit, then you have. Yeah. So I think tandem's way to go. It worked well for when the Blues, obviously Halak Elliott, Elliott Allen, So
I didn't understand why they got rid of Lindgren.
Oh, Chucky Siburns?
Yeah, why the hell didn't we pull that guy up and just
We don't know, man. Like in the background, you don't know what goes on in the background. He might have been like, he might have been wanting more than they were willing to offer. He might have said he wanted to be number one. Who knows?
I mean,
Halak
he got a lot of number one this year in
Yeah.
Washington. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Halak and Elliott, there was clearly a point where I would believe it was Halak. I don't know. I wasn't in the room, but Halak needed a number one spot, right? And they were like, I'm sorry, like Elliott is we're pushing more towards Elliott, which Elliott, goalie coach of your St. Louis Blues now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, advisor. Yep.
I don't know, man. I guess we'll see. I mean, I believe they get it done, but what if they don't? I don't know, man. It's out there.
Need it.
No, they'll get it done.
Yeah. Real quick, man, I have two big things I want to get to before we play Trib. All three of those things take a little while, and I don't want to keep you all night, man. But I did want to ask you, if I could, a couple questions. I've listened to a lot of, I've listened to a lot of your show. Everyone's listened to a little bit of it, though. I gave them a link to familiarize themselves a while back. But I got a couple questions, if you don't mind, about the show.
Hit me up.
First and foremost, man, I know it probably has something to do with Chris, but how the hell did you guys get that song from Brooke Royal in the intro? It's a great tune, man.
Yeah. So honestly, the funny thing was, like, heard it either on the radio or probably more likely on the radio or whatever. Heard it and I really liked it. So at the time, like, I talked to Chris. Yeah, Chris just started kind of doing it, and honestly, I just hit them up on Facebook.
No shit.
And I just said, hey, big long diatribe, like, really love your stuff, whatever. I like to use your song if possible. Let me know if you want to discuss it, and we can I figured I was, and they're like, hey, we released it for free. Use it at what you want. And I'm like, I'll give you guys credit and do whatever. They're like, cool, go ahead and use it. Like, we love it. Thanks for asking.
That's badass.
And
Such a badass song too.
And Jack, from the lead singer Brooke Royal, he's like, you're the only person who's ever asked
Oh no
to
way.
use it. Like KMOX uses it a lot.
Yeah, they do.
And he's like, they just use it.
They never asked?
They just
No,
used
he
it.
said they just used it. They never asked him.
Wow.
Yeah, I still talk to. I
What do you
haven't talked to
expect?
Jack in a while, but I talked to Bon, a lot, and
Bon's-
talked to him.
dude, Bon.
Bon is awesome, traveling the world right now, I believe.
Yeah.
He's somewhere in Japan right now, wherever he's at.
That's
Out second. I don't know where he's at now. I just saw him at Point Fest very briefly, and I was surprised to see him because, like, weren't you just in China like 2 days ago? And he's like, yeah, I just got back.
Life of a musician, man.
Yeah,
you
he's
said
just
Bon, right?
constant-
That's Bon.
Yeah, Bon. Yeah, Bon is
Yeah,
the one.
yeah.
Of the
We went to
guitars,
school with Bon. Bon's a Grand
Yeah.
City boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Nice. Yeah, he's super awesome. I love Bon.
Cool
So,
dude. Super fucking cool dude. Yeah.
Mhm.
The lead singer.
No, yeah, simple. I just asked. That's all I did. So
That's insane, man.
You just tell me you just take a shot, and that's
I
all
plan
I
on
did.
doing that to get most of like, look, like you're here because I it's just like, hey man, like that's what
Yeah.
I plan on doing with most people to get guests on the show. Hey,
That's
man.
literally what I do. Just just kind of
Right.
like throw it
Yeah,
out there and see what
awesome.
happens. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Just
Yeah, the lead singer of Brooke Royal, like
Jack.
giant blues fan.
Yeah.
I went and seen them with Killer Me Kill You, and it's where I
Kill Me,
found
Kill You,
Fivefold.
so badass.
Like,
Fivefold's so badass.
Fivefold was on there, and
Old
he
baby
was,
dude, the baby dude.
but it was his name Jack. I don't know him.
Yeah, Jack.
or anything.
Jack,
but he was wearing a blues jersey, and
Mhm.
like they were playing that night, and we went to the game,
Mhm.
and then went over to Pops afterwards, and like it was like, and he was like, yeah, and I was wearing my Halak jersey, and I bought the shirt that my kid wears now. And
Nice.
yeah, like, it was funny because when I listened to his show and I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this is Brooke Royal. Like Gray wore that shirt to the Benson's Animal Farm.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. So I was like,
Nice.
oh shit.
Brooke Royal, Killing Me, Kill You, Fivefold, Last Night's Vice, that little capsule of time period of music, local
Mhm.
St. Louis music, that's and that all kind of came together with The Urge coming back around in 2011. Oh, dude, the inner little kid of myself, like that's fan, and that music's still fucking amazing. Jordan, we know Jordan from Killer Me, Kill You. He actually does lights. He did lights. He was sending me videos. He was doing lights for the the blues opening ceremony. He does all the LEDs down.
Oh, nice.
Down in the arena now. He's badass. That everybody calls that guy Coco. That kid's name's Jordan. So hate to bust him out. The other thing I wanted to know, man, honestly, was just how did you and Chris, so like coming from a place where me and a couple of my buddies started a podcast, I know how it started. How did your guys' start?
So I'll do a backtrack real quick because I want to blow your mind real quick since you're talking local music. You know who I've never seen live?
Who's that?
The Urge.
Are you shitting me?
I don't know. I love their stuff. It's just one of those things where I just like 100%
Well, dude, I'll
transparency.
tell-
Like I'm not a big I've never been a big concert guy. I never did. I was not a big crowd
Yeah?
guy, so I never
Well,
did
if you
concerts
have-
growing up. So honestly, since COVID and stuff, I try to make myself more going out there and doing concerts. And I've probably seen the amount of concerts I saw from the ages, teenager to 40.
Yeah.
I literally doubled that in the last year and a half.
Dude, I'll tell you right
because
now.
I never really did concerts. So I've just been trying to make sure I do that
So
a little bit more and
I haven't seen the
discover
Urge.
new music. So yeah.
I haven't seen the Urge in a long time. They play every November around the week. of
Correct. I
Thanksgiving.
just need to go one time.
Dude, you want to go this year? I'll go with you. Like we
All
should
right,
do
we'll-
that.
we'll-
we should
we'll do
go
that
see
then.
the Urge. Play that
Yeah.
motherfucking Urge shit. I love the Urge.
Urge is good.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm just so far behind.
Oh,
but
dude,
anyway.
all those guys were really cool. All those local guys were awesome. We
Yeah,
see
Jerry Joseph's fantastic too. Yeah,
Dude,
big,
he
his
has-
family's very big hockey family too.
They are-
So
he's on
yeah.
my list, bro. He's on my list to get in here.
Yeah.
Not only is he the guitar player from the Urge, I've watched that guy and went, oh god, he's playing guitar for the Urge. But also huge hockey family, huge
Mhm.
hockey family.
Yep, huge family.
They just raise hockey players, and yeah, no joke, man. He's on the list for sure.
Yeah, trust me. But oh yeah, so
you've
back
seen
to
Brooke
the
Royal,
back to
right?
the question.
Yeah,
Yes, I've seen Brooke Royal. So
yeah,
yeah,
they
so
throw a hell of a show too.
yeah, so it's been great too. Yeah, so but how the podcast started. So I'll be honest, I don't remember the exact year. To be honest with you, I originally started it like a lot of people back then. I was not happy with the coverage that the Blues got.
Right.
I thought it was very the local sports was very much focused on the god awful Rams team at the time. 7-9 Rams, whatever year that was. You can pick a year, you'll probably be right.
Right.
But the Cardinals, obviously, because they were still in their heyday. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing that set me off, and also coincidentally what set Chris off, is I used to stay up late and watch Sports Plus on Channel 5. I was just, since I was a little kid, that's kind of like what I did with my family and stuff, and I just always did that. There's one time when the Blues were starting that ascension. They just were getting out of the basement, and I think it was the year where they made that huge run and got back, and they lost in the first round against Vancouver.
Yeah.
So it was that. I think it was that year, and the Blues are making this huge run and getting to the playoffs. And there was a 2-minute quick clip of it that Cusimano went over. And then they proceeded to have an 8-minute segment about his daughter's volleyball team.
Yep. Fucking Cusimano. A high school team.
I remember being so mad about that, and just like a professional team that's in our town, and you're just, so I was like really mad about it, and I don't know why. And then obviously podcasting started, so I decided just like, well, I could do this. I could do that. I'll throw something out there. So I kind of just pieced it through with friends and didn't really have a solid co-host. Did about 10 episodes, and it's really awful. I went back and listened to it. But
yeah. Don't ever go listen to your first 3 episodes.
I do. I think it's fun just now to see how you kind of
ours.
did stuff. It's fun. I think it's a good, kind of makes me feel like, oh, I have gotten better at this. So
right.
I got to know Chris through my wife's cousin's husband. We'd played music trivia, and then Chris was a friend of his. So we got to talk to Chris, and I kind of talked to him like, oh, I do this. I used to do this podcast, and he's like, oh, I used to be on the radio, and I was like, oh, well, you should do it with me sometime.
So that's crazy, because I guess I never really thought about it. I just assumed you and Chris were like childhood friends.
No, I probably only know Chris probably like 10-ish years, maybe 10, 12 years.
Really? Oh wow, man. That's
crazy. And honestly, when I said you really want to do this, it was the morning of the USA versus Russia game where Yoshi was in the shootout. I told him, I was like, hey, we should record after this, and he's like, okay. So we started since then. So yeah. And that's kind of like how it kind of started since then. So
I had no clue, man. And obviously, like, it's no secret, man. Like, I'm trying to get Chris on too. Chris brings a whole nother off-season aspect of music that we would all have a whole nother, aspect of talking to. It'd be great to get you both on at the same time. But I remember Chris on the radio, which is really screwed up because the first time I ever listened to The Point was Tom, Jeff, and Trish. Mm-hmm. So like that whole thing right there, and then everybody throughout, I've been listening since then. So like when people talk about Haas, I'm like, oh, I know that guy is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to him, people calling him that now, but it took me a long time when Haas? We would kind of be out and about. He would say that, and I'd be like, who are they talking about?
I didn't know who the fuck Chris Frank was.
Yeah,
like,
so
I had no clue who that was. I started when social media became a thing, and I saw Chris Frank was like in all the circles I'm in. I'm like, I don't know that guy. And then I looked at it one day, I'm like, oh, it's Haas. He's 6,000 feet tall. Like, yeah. He did a lot with Tom and Jeff and whatnot after they broke away and did the Tom and Jeff podcast. So yeah, definitely, man. I don't know. I'm almost positive. I think I had an assist on getting him his Craig Janning game used from '94.
Might have, yeah, because I think
came across somebody selling it dirt cheap, and I was like, I know the guy that will buy this for more than that right now if you wait. And I hit him up.
That's this guy, which I never will understand that.
Hey, we've all got him, dude.
Nelson, but he got Emerson. It, so he's super excited. Yeah, everybody has a guy, so that's why it's
Nelson Emerson. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no,
everybody's got him.
So
Justin's over there like, I like Malkin. I know.
That's fine. That's fine too. That's why I don't like crap on. I'm trying to be more of the kind of upbeat and stuff. So everybody has a guy they like. I'm like, cool. That's the guy you like.
That 94 goal that he scored back behind the net when Belfort lost his fucking mind. Like that's iconic. And I'm fairly certain he's got the stick. Like when I saw that,
He does.
I'm fairly certain
I can honestly confirm that
stick from the behind the goal thing. Because when I saw it come up, I hit it first and I looked at it and I just said dibs. I messaged the guy. I was like, I know the guy that's going to buy this, and I'm not going to say how much it was, but dirt cheap considering, right? And I didn't go through the process of like, hey, is this photo matched? Is that the goal stick and everything? But it is. That's insane. And Justin doesn't have that. That's just a hockey stick for you, right?
Yeah, I don't care about any of that.
I get it, man.
It's whatever. Like I have a Halak jersey that's signed.
Yeah.
That is hanging in a closet.
Okay, real quick. Do you wear it to games?
No.
Yeah.
We would have to have an issue with that.
I know people that do that.
It's just hanging.
You see those people walking around. Yeah, Mikey walked in here with, was it Gunner?
Gunnarsson, yeah.
He walked in with a Gunner signed jersey. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I saw one was it last season or two years ago? It was 2 years ago. It was like one of the like weird COVID games where everybody wasn't in the arena yet. and a dude was walking around with a signed Gretzky jersey.
Are you shitting me?
No, I about me and Chris about like
hey man, take those mortgage payments off your body. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, that was insane. But
Jesus
yeah, that's one of my pet
Christ.
peeves. It's weird, but yeah.
I am the biggest dork for game used and any kind of memorabilia. I mean, like it doesn't even matter who the hell it is. If it touched the ice during an NHL game, I'm like, that's fucking history. Like
I have a
that's
hat.
history.
I have a hat that's signed by like a majority of the team back when Bear Jackman, Elliot, Halak, like that whole thing.
13, 14, 12.
That I wish I would have never had it signed. It was like my favorite
It's a
Blues
cool
hat.
hat.
Yeah,
You
it's
can wear
the
it
greatest
now.
hat.
Yeah.
And I had it signed at one of that Dream thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wear that hat
See,
ever.
yeah.
It just sits.
That's why I have my Toronto jersey signed by Cujo with that awkward photo we put up. It was the second restraining order I got. You're the reason I like hockey. I had him sign that because I'll never wear that damn thing ever again. Right? Like it's I don't know, the memorabilia stuff, man. That does something for me, man. Onward and upward, because I know we're getting late, and I'm so sorry, and I'm dragging things along here. But I would be remiss without talking about a couple things that might not pertain to me, but the three of you love. Okay, and there's two things that I know two of you are really stoked about, and three of you are really stoked about. So I'm about to just give it to you. Okay.
Okay.
Jason, do you play video games?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you like
every
the game?
So which game? Say again.
Justin, what's the game?
The Destiny.
Are you a Destiny fan?
That'd be Chris. You can get Chris. I've played and I know of the Destinies, and I played it for quite some time.
You beat it though, right?
Well, it's okay. Chris beat the like that's what you're talking about. The final shape is what it's called, and Chris finished that, and we talk about it and stuff. Like I fell out because just Chris plays it with a group that's they are primarily in England, so they play at different times.
Oh, okay.
So like it is very late sometimes for us, and like very early. So Chris is the Destiny guy. Like I know of it, and I can hold my own in a conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you do know of it though, and have played it, because I told Justin about it, and he's like, "Oh, dude!"
Yeah.
So like, he's super stoked to talk to you about Destiny, and I don't even do you Destiny, Mikey?
I used to.
You used to? Okay.
Yeah,
So you all three are in the ballpark, right?
Yeah, and this is the thing.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't played Destiny since the Witch Queen.
Okay, that's a pretty close to about where I was.
Yeah. My kid, my oldest kid though, he's beat the newest one and all that stuff.
Yeah, Chris just finished it, I think, last week.
The main thing I wanted to ask, since it was Destiny. So, are you familiar with the new game that's called The Descendants?
The First Descendant.
The First Descendant.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you guys seen all the Destiny Descendants issues going on?
No, I have not actually, but I know of it.
So the First Descendants, they have emblems, right, for abilities and so what, just like Destiny does, right?
Yeah.
For stasis and all these other abilities. Now I'm gonna put up a graphic real quick, and you can take a look next to each and every one of these emblems. One is Destiny, one is First Descendants. Okay. Look at this and tell me that somebody didn't just copy and paste over at First Descendants. Side by side.
Well, I mean,
slow office day. Huh?
I'm looking at the same pictures.
at the game area where they're creating logos.
I'm looking at the same pictures, man. You look at side by side, each and every one. They're next to each other. The ones that match.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. So, yeah, I didn't realize it was like that close. I know of the game, and I know people talked about it, but yeah, that's
like you see that when you see them side by side, you're like, holy crap.
I don't have a horse in the race whatsoever, but is this very much a case of like, hey, bro, let me copy your homework?
It's essentially, yeah. Because I mean, dude, the thing about it is Destiny and First Descendants are very much the same game. They're a looter shooter. They're both free.
There's a lot of similar.
Super similar. I mean, you
Destiny's
got micro
free up to a point, and then you got to buy the expansion to actually play that shit.
Well, most of the expansions are free though, right now.
No,
all the way up to Last Strand is
no,
free.
They're on sale now.
No, I've gotten almost all of those for free.
If you
I
have
don't
the
know, man. You got it for
PlayStation
free.
Plus, they've been within the last 2 years. I think they've had like at least 3 or 4 of them as like the free game of the month or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And then
so
that's
I
what I'm
think I have it
Okay.
through that. So I'm almost caught up. I think I had Lightfall, and I think that's the one I got for free and stuff. So
Yeah,
they just had one
Lightfall is
2 months
the one
ago.
that I just picked up for free. I haven't played it yet, but
Yeah. So.
I'm gonna be down for sure.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a fun game. I like, trust me, I put in plenty of time into that game for a long time with Chris getting stuff in. I really am awful at jumping in video games. Apparently, and I get made fun of a lot for that. So that game requires a lot of jumping at times, and
especially
no matter
for
what I do to make my character better at jumping, I am not good at it. So I'm just like, hey, let's point somewhere and I can shoot something. That's kind of where I'm at with that.
So, what game do you play now? Like, what's your main game that you play?
I do have a group of friends that we've been friends since high school, if not longer, and probably since our early 20s, we've done Call of Duty. So,
okay, you do like the Warzone?
Yeah, I enjoy like a lot of aspects, zombies, and then we kind of jump it with multiplayer. We jump around and stuff. Just it's kind of like an excuse to get together and BS for 3 or 4 hours on a Friday night.
Hell yeah!
I gotta say, we have funny like clan name and stuff like that, so it's always a good time. We've done it for a long time, so I do that's like primarily, but I like a lot of the one player games too. Some me and Buddy do Resident Evil. I'm a big fan of that. I just finished. What did I just finish? I finished Spider-Man 2. That has been done, and was the last one, and by the remake of Dead Space, which is a very good game. I love that.
Great, yeah,
It looks really good.
yeah.
It's I mean, they did a fantastic job on the remake, and I'm sad they're not going to remake the second one now because the first one didn't sell enough, so that sucks. But yeah, I'm definitely like when I have time for games, it's definitely on my barometer. But
You mess with like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that? Did you?
I want to. I really want to be in a D&D guy.
On Baldur's Gate. So was I. I loved it.
I'm on
being
my
a D&D guy. I want to.
Yeah.
I'm on
Really?
my 4th playthrough right now. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I have a buddy who's on his 3rd or 4th as well. Yeah.
I keep starting over, and then I'll make it to Act 2, and then I stop, and then I'll start over again with a different build.
Sucks to be you.
I know. Yeah, I really need to put some time, but then now I'm doing the Elden Ring. So
Is that the
I'm-
game you
Yeah,
built?
that's just too much for me. I'm not really good at that game, so
hang on a
Elden Ring is a little
every
too much
single
for
game,
me.
every single game, I build a thought.
You, you sent me a photo. You were so proud. You're like, I built this
And
chick, and I'm like,
that was Dragon's
that's an
Dogma.
Instagram.
That was
thought.
Dragon's Dogma.
Like,
that I
are you
that I
doing
built.
that?
I built it. I always play as a female, and I always build them like they're going
You
on
give
some
them, like,
Russian
donkey bags.
Russian
Yeah.
submarine
Like-
or some Russian jet boat or something. Yeah, no, 100%. I love them.
No, yeah. So I'm definitely a big video gamer too. So yeah, so a lot of the I got to do a lot of one players, but if I had multiplayers, probably like Call of Duty. So that's
Do you
probably
do
like
any of the FromSoft stuff, like any of the Souls games? The Get.
Oh, I'm so off. No, man, I get so
Get good
like
games?
I lasted 20 minutes on Elden Ring, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, no with this game.
Oh, dude, I 100%ed that, and
Really
like I
good
said,
for
I'm-
you. Like
Let's talk about
anybody
vacation
should
when
do
that
those
game
games.
came out.
Yeah,
he
I
took
would-
a week's
I
vacation
took
when
a
that
week's
fucking game
vacation
came
when
Good
out.
for you, man. Like I get it. I get why those games are. I understand like why people play those games. Like just me, like physically, like having the skill is one thing, and I just don't have that. I'm very much, like the Spider-Man games. That's like kind of like my jam there. The Dead Space, Silent Hill is coming out with a remake, which I'm looking forward to that.
Silent
So,
Hill.
Seriously?
Yeah, Silent Hill 2 is coming out. You remember
shit.
Parasite Eve back in the day?
Yeah, that's a great game
Oh
too.
my
So yeah,
God, it was so good. I remember that game came out around the same time as the original Silent Hill. Tim, you used to play Resident Evil, bro.
Did you guys ever fuck with Leisure Shoot Larry?
I love
Yeah.
Oh,
Leisure
yeah, I know what
Suit.
you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Tim, I know for a
Yeah,
fact
no,
that you
Nemesis.
played
The
Nemesis.
last like story like story game I would.
You know they
is that what it's
remade
called?
that, right?
Like a story where
Yeah.
it has a story. The last time I would play something like that was Resident Evil Nemesis.
Yeah.
And Kevin, my buddy Kevin, would be my navigator. Right. He'd be like, no, don't go in that fucking room. You know?
Yeah.
I would be the guy
Guy
just
in there.
running and gunning. Again, 94 NHL 94 controllers, right? Just so
They remade Nemesis
did they?
and Resident Evil 2.
I don't know,
Resident Evil 2 remake is great. The third one,
Mhm.
I
Is it?
watched. I watched a guy do a run through the whole game of the new one
yeah.
in 2 hours.
Holy
He beat the whole game.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ.
Like he just like cruised the whole thing, shotgun run,
That's skills I don't possess, man.
I generally watch a guy on YouTube called the Rad Brad.
Yeah.
I love the Rad Brad.
I don't get, man. I don't have that coordination, dude. Like I bought a PlayStation 4 back when that was still relevant to play Fortnite and Warzone with Daryl. I thought it'd be a cool bonding thing. And I have never been so frustrated getting shot before I land on the ground in both games. And I'm like, fuck this. This is ridiculous. What are we doing? I sold I sold a comic book collection for this. What are we doing? But yeah, I don't know. It never clicked. Plus, there's just so much content.
I get it.
What have you been playing a lot lately, Mikey?
The past couple of days has been the First Descendant.
First Descendant?
I decided to give it a try, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it so far.
I'm
kind of hoping we wrap this up soon so I can get a little bit of time in before I have to go to bed.
Jesus Christ.
I'm joking.
Let's move it along, boys.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
So let me ask you. So I started playing that game, and I beat the first Grave Walker, right?
Yeah.
So I like just the intro, just the first thing where you're playing with Bunny and all that stuff. I do like the First Descendant because it's got physics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you're
saying.
saying.
You're gonna do fucking math on this?
No,
Are you serious?
No.
It's a video game with fucking homework?
No, I'll tell you later.
We'll tell you when you're older and you're a little more mature.
When you're ready, I'll tell you later.
No, you ain't wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
Wait till you get
does
about
it
halfway
get
through
harder?
the story.
Does it
does.
harder?
It does eventually.
Okay, because dude, I beat that thing in like a matter of seconds, and
well,
I was
there's
like,
also one of the dialogue lines that come through before we got there is it looks weaker than normal. So yeah, you're gonna destroy it in 20 seconds.
See, I skipped dialogue.
No,
I
it's
ain't
when
there
the
for the story,
big one
bro.
shows up about 6 hours of gameplay later that you're like, oh yeah, that first guy was really easy. This guy not so much.
Okay, so it does get that's as
the
much
boss,
as
the boss
as I
fights that they put you into, because you'll go through and you'll do this section. There are 4 missions per section. You move to the next section, move to the next section, next section. Once you complete that whole area, it sends you back to the home base at HQ, and this guy's like, hey, we need you to go take this guy out. And it is a giant, massive boss that actually has mechanics to it.
Okay.
So it does get a little more difficult as it goes. I like to cross it between Warframe, Destiny, and for me, to be honest, a little bit of Gears of War.
Okay.
Not a lot. It's more Warframe and Destiny, but there's a little bit of Gears of War in there, and the weapon progression system is really fun. I mean, you're constantly, you get a good new gun, you're like, oh, I'm going to use this for a while. And then the next enemy you kill drops a gun that's 700 DPS higher than what you're using.
Is it all RNG type guns, though?
It's a lot of it, yes.
See, that was the problem with the Division. You know,
I have, between the Division 1 and the Division 2, I've probably got close to 6,000 hours into both those games.
I'm right there with you.
I loved
it's insane.
Both of them.
I stopped playing the Division after they just came out with that shock version AR. This was like a couple months ago. Yeah, and it was I was kind of done with it, but yeah.
Do you guys think that if
I'll probably end up playing that?
If Kip Rios wouldn't have taken out Grant Fuhrer's knee, we'd already have a Stanley Cup?
Yes.
Me too.
Moving on.
Jason, the other thing that I know nothing of that I know at least one of us here love, you, sir, are...
shit, Mikey, you on kid duty when you get home.
When your wife watches the show live,
video game?
Oh boy. When your wife is all live on the show, she's like, you're doing what when you get home?
Nothing.
You, sir, we have a graphic for this, and I'm sorry, man, I had to share this. Like, actually, when I was giving Mikey a little rundown, this was what I showed him, right? And I said, no joke, man, like, he's the one that's not Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right? But you're a huge wrestling fan, right?
Yeah, definitely.
If I'm not mistaken, like I thought I saw one time, I don't know if you were doing like a live or if you guys went live on the podcast, I'm not sure. Somehow, some way, don't you have the seats from the matches you go to?
Oh, actually, let's do this real quick there, right?
That's what I thought. Ooh. Yep, Mikey.
Right
nice.
Yep.
So
Mikey,
a couple money in the bank seats there. Yeah, and I have actually, I won't bring the camera again, but I'm looking at. I got a bunch of signed, photos over there, and I have off the left side of my screen. I have Chris got me because he's hilarious. He got a Mark Henry signed Hershey's bar.
Sexual
which you don't
chocolate.
get that joke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sexual chocolate.
That boy good.
Sexual chocolate.
Sure.
And then yeah, I have a ring rope from Ric Flair's last match, WWE match, excuse me, over there. So yeah.
Mikey,
Nice.
huge wrestling fan on this
Yeah,
show.
I
Probably
guess
the
same thing.
only-
I watched one actually it was
Whatever,
Chris. We watched Money in the Bank last Saturday at his house actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am super, and I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It's not a point of contention that I make fun of people that I know that like wrestling. I'm actually really fucking jealous because I kind of feel like you like wrestling the way I like hockey, right? So you have
Oh,
two
I think
things,
both, yeah.
at least two things
Yeah.
in your life that you love as much as that. And my wrestling knowledge, as talked about on this show many a times, goes just two ways. I definitely had a Sable poster in my room at one time.
Okay.
Not much to do about wrestling, and then I really dug Sting because I like the Crow. So
Yeah.
like, that's about my only 2 points of reference of wrestling. But
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Other than I cooked the $1 Million Man a steak once.
you did,
nice.
you did
That's
cook
cool.
$1 Million Man a steak at Ponderosa.
At Ponderosa.
That's
he
right.
came through. He lives
That
in
sounds pretty cool.
How did
He
he eat
lives in
that steak
Townsville,
again?
Illinois. I forget.
Correctly?
Yeah,
I hope.
it was probably
correctly?
medium
Okay,
rare.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was probably medium
Yeah.
rare, medium, something like that.
And the only other thing we do share as a whole, which you actually could probably help us out with and be a part of yourself, is Justin is on. I'm not going to lie to you guys. All right. I'm going to tell you the truth. The only reason this podcast exists is for one reason and one reason only. And that is that Justin wants to get the Macho Man Million Man March off the
Yes.
ground.
Yes.
Now
Now imagine this. Okay.
Imagine in the world.
hundreds, thousands of individuals all dressed like their favorite Macho Man Randy Savage.
Dibs. I mind dibs.
What you get? What you get?
Oh yeah.
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw. I'm going Slim Jim, but whatever. But we march the
Macho King.
streets of St.
Hell
Louis
yes.
somewhere, and it's all for like charity of like heart disease.
Yeah, because the heart
There
attack
you go.
isn't is what we're raising
So
money
it's
for.
the million,
It's very cool.
Even
the
though
Million Man Macho
the
Man
cocaine
March.
is what killed him.
The cocaine. Is what killed him,
But we'll
Yeah.
give the money to
To
heart
heart
disease.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down. We will get it together.
Ah, dude,
I
can you
will
just
dress as
imagine?
Bonesaw.
I already have the Pit Vipers.
Yeah,
like,
we saw
I'm
from the
halfway
last
there.
episode,
I'm
yeah.
Bon Jovi.
The only thing I'm going to say throughout the entire walk is we got 3 minutes of bleed time. That's all I'm going to say the entire damn time.
It's the
It's
greatest
going to be
part
great,
of Spider-Man.
man. That's yeah. But yeah, I know you share that with Mikey, and I thought it'd be pretty cool. And I hope that's not creepy. I don't know how the hell I saw that. Did you do like a live or something on the podcast?
We might have, yeah, because that's
Yeah.
usually Chris usually sits in
I
one of those chairs. So
I remember
yeah,
seeing the chairs. And I'm like, I know that guy's into wrestling. When
yeah.
you sent that
And the funny
photo-
part is, I didn't go to either one of those events.
Oh, no
so
joke?
It worked out. Yeah, I think I won some kind of like weird contest with Enterprise Center, and they literally gave me a seat from that pay-per-view that I never attended, and I got tickets to SmackDown that was like that night or
Nice.
the next night. And you won't get this, but I'll just throw it out there. There was
Mikey will.
Mike might, but I didn't. I literally just for some reason in a mood that night, and I just didn't want to go. And it wound up being the night that they randomly decided to throw AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the title, and Daniel Bryan won the title from AJ Styles. Like
Yeah, that was
random,
Badass.
like randomly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, two of my favorite wrestlers had a match, and it was an awesome match, and I missed it. And
Oh,
it's
damn.
great.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So
yeah, but
Yeah, that was right before Survivor Series.
Yeah, and that was
They
going to be
they were building Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar, and all of a sudden AJ won the belt 2 days before the pay-per-view, so they had to switch it all up.
yeah. So
And
I,
it was the second
missed
year in a
that.
row they had done that.
Yeah, and I missed because that's why you said I'm like, oh, they're not going to do anything. They did it last year, and of course they did it again. So
the only point of reference in my life where someone tried to get me into wrestling, they took me to a wrestling match where it was the one where that guy had just died the night before.
Owen Hart.
It was the worst
Yeah.
wrestling match ever because no one wrestled. All they did was
Yeah.
tributes to Owen Hart
Tributes,
all
yeah.
night long because he had just died the night before. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't think I'll ever be into wrestling. to Be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Dude,
But-
it sucks when you have plans to go do something and then you're like, nah, I'm not going to, and
Mhm.
like something big happens. Like
Yeah.
I had tickets to go to Point Fest to see Avenged Sevenfold, the last Point Fest with
Oh,
the Rev before he passed, and
Mm.
like me and Jimmy both love that band
Yeah.
a lot, and I think that was my pick for like
Perfect album.
Perfect.
It was one of your perfect albums.
Yeah, one of my perfect albums that you don't skip. And dude, I regret it every single day. And you know why we didn't go? It was sprinkling.
It was a little wet outside.
It was a little sprinkling. We were just like, they're $20 tickets. Who cares? And
just missed the Rev.
I missed the Rev.
I only got to see the Rev because that was Daryl's favorite band, 5 years old.
Mhm.
And
I remember Nightmare being playing
oh
all the
my
time.
God, that
Great
kid
song.
loved Avenged Sevenfold so bad. But he loved them before the Rev passed, before Nightmare came out. So self-titled, Your Perfect Album that we did on the show. That was his album. And we went to Moline, Illinois to see Avenged Sevenfold with 3 Days Grace opening for them.
And
With Adam, the real 3 Days Grace.
Oliver
And-
Anthony just played Moline.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah.
Who's that again?
Fudge Rounds?
Richmond,
That's
North of
right,
Richmond.
Yeah.
America. Yeah. But we saw them play. Yeah, the Rev was a monster, and yeah, dude, that was a hell of a show. And I've seen them with Portnoy since, because that 2011 show with the Urge playing Point Fest, Avenged Sevenfold played that too. So like, I believe. So that was dude, it's a killer band. Speaking of music, so. Not to keep you any longer, man, and thank you so damn much for hanging out with us this long, man. I know it's
great.
a long time, but every guest that comes on the show, we always play tribute with. And to kind of give you a little background, I got a little extra on the background this week. Justin will explain to you background because this is his brainchild. I just barely help out with this. But I want you to throw the post up before you talk about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I've got a graphic there.
So this game was born 13 years ago.
13 years ago.
On yesterday, right? 13 years ago yesterday.
Yep.
So like I was going through my Facebook memories, and this was me in 2011, looking for a keyboard player to join our Styx tribute band, named Small Pieces of Wood, or SPOW. Must be experienced and have a mustache.
Must have a mustache.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So that was the whole thing. So I wanted to start a Styx tribute band, and I wanted to call it Small Pieces of Wood, which is an amazing tribute band.
Yeah,
name, right?
good name. But I'm mowing your lawn. You got the weed eater. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the whole purpose of this game is basically if I give you a tribute band name like Small Pieces of Wood, the answer would be Styx, would be the tribute band name. If I gave you a name like Broken Gourds,
hell yeah, that's the best
it
one to
would
go
be
Smashing Pumpkins.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. He
I'm
gets
gonna
it.
lose.
Dude. So Mikey is the reigning champ of this. Honestly, the only person so far to ever give Mikey a run for his money has been Patrico.
Tony Patrico.
Fucking
Absolutely
destroyed
killed
this
this
game.
game.
Yeah. We got the years wrong for our last guest. She's
I
like
spelt
6 or
stuff wrong
7.
the
Yeah, you
last-
spelled shit wrong.
Yeah.
But she's like 6 or 7 years younger than us and had no clue about New Kids on the Block. So we really fumbled that one.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, I hit up Chris asking for intel
I gave
on
her-
you for
Oh,
music.
man, all right.
Yeah.
I gave
So,
her-
He's gonna be like, wow. He's like, worst taste ever.
I was like, they can't all be Guns N' Roses, Chris. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But I think we got a decent amount. So we'll go 1 for 1. We'll go. I don't know who you're starting with.
I got 5 for each of you.
Yeah. Each get one. If you
each
get it
one
right,
you can ask a hint.
Yep.
2 times.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll probably give you more if you ask nicely.
Okay.
And you can. We'll just do our best for the hints as far as genres of music.
You get
and
it
stuff
right.
Like that.
What do you get for if you get it right there?
If you get it right, you're gonna get a.
Hell yeah, bro!
Hell
yeah!
If you get it wrong,
Hell no!
Hell
Yeah.
no.
You-
But
you-
either
you-
which
you're
way
out
you get
there.
banana bread, dude.
Yeah, you get banana bread. So Mikey, we're gonna start off with you.
I'm
Good
so
call.
happy I'm not playing this. I'm so
All
god
right.
awful at this game.
And I always start off with a gimme here.
You get a softball, right?
Mikey, yours is Shades Baby.
Dapical.
Oh, Sunglasses Kid.
Hey.
There you go. And real quick, Jason, do you know who Sunglasses Kid is?
No, that's what I was trying. I was trying to figure it out, but no.
We talked about this last week.
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
well, the guitar player of the Urge fits into this.
Okay.
He has a band I talked about on this show that fits right in with what we talked about last week with Neon Moods, right?
Yeah.
Neon Moods is my playlist of nothing but just gorgeous ass saxophone-ish music that's popular now called retro wave. And like Jared he has a band called the oh my god, I'm gonna mess it up. It's all what you would hear in the Breakfast Club, right? So like he plays nothing. That band plays nothing but like 80s retro wave music. It is amazing. Played my favorite song of all time, right? Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's that music, right? Another reason I want him on the show, because that would be so badass. Talk to him about that.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, you listen to Sunglasses Kid. Sunglasses Kid does so he does instrumental retro synth wave music.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's stuff like his songs are called stuff like The Heist, right?
Yeah.
Or Turn In Your Badge and Gun, which is like the sound you hear in Lethal Weapon when they turn in their badge and gun, right? Justin gave this a try.
Yeah. So you guys were talking like, oh, it's so great. And I thought I knew what it was. So when I got home, or on the way home, and then when I got home, I listened to a couple, 2 or 3 songs. And what the hell? It's cool, but it doesn't build to anything. It just blue balled me.
The way he told me,
never gave me the finish.
It's infinite edging.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it, Tim? And I'm like,
dude, it felt like it was building to something,
dude,
it never hits.
I mean, not speaking for Mikey, but
And
like,
I was frustrated.
talking for myself, and I think Mikey shares it. It tickles a part of your brain that makes you feel like you're in a warm blanket eating a grilled cheese sandwich.
If you guys like that
Yeah.
stuff,
It's amazing.
if you guys like that stuff, just
And I'm
dig deep into Dayseeker. It's that, but it leaves you feeling.
Oh yeah, no,
you know,
Dayseeker's right there.
Yeah, it's right
It's the
in the
same thing.
pocket.
It's heavier though.
So yeah,
Same thing with Shrezzers. Shrezzers is right there, but it's heavy. You get everything you get with the Midnight and Shrezzers, but you're gonna get some growling too.
Yeah,
Right?
with
Like that's just
Dayseeker. It reminded me a lot of Dayseeker, but it didn't leave me frustrated.
The
So,
John Hughes
yeah.
Experience is the
Sorry
name.
to go off on a tangent, but God
Oh,
damn
he
it.
called me. He's like, "Fuck that guy,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "What are you
Dude, I was
talking
so-
about?"
I
dude?
was like, is this really like this? And I was like, I expected it to be awesome, and I
It
went
was
into
awesome.
I went into it. And I was like,
It
dude,
is
this is
awesome.
nice. I was getting it. I was getting it. I was like, I'm waiting. I'm like, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. And I'm like 3 minutes into a song, and I'm like, is it coming ever? And it never does. It just one tone, all the way
it's
through.
background noise.
I don't want it. I don't want it. But that's my
The
tangent.
John
All right,
Hughes
Shades, baby,
Experiment.
You got
though.
it. You got
the
it.
John
right.
Hughes Experiment.
Jason,
Joyce Band, so good.
All right.
All right.
Jason, here's your first one. It's going to be a softball as well. $50.
I am. It'll be 50 cents.
Oh.
Oh no, 50.
He nails it.
Oh, did it? Okay. I almost thought I didn't get there for a second.
Nailed it, dude.
Mikey,
go.
Failure to pay. I gotta make Mikey's pretty hard.
Mikey's have to be
Because-
hard, yeah, because
yeah.
he is the master at this game. I only know these because I know, like he told me, like I
got you.
Yeah,
No, actually, Tim, you got this.
I
I
did it.
I,
Oh,
I
oh, okay.
send you all these.
Give me a hint. I'll take my first hint.
Genre is what this it came out about mid 2000s. And all I'll say for a hint is if you fail to pay a loan, what is that?
Oh, it's the fault.
Shit.
Oh, yeah, bro.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably too good. That was
Paid
too
to feel.
Yeah. That's probably way too.
Whoa, girl.
So I only made this because there was a video of him of that guy, the lead singer and the
yeah.
guitarist on TikTok just recently, where he's playing in a bar in front of about 8 people, and they get to that part where the whoa, and he pauses thinking the whole audience is gonna sing that part, and nobody says anything.
You could hear somebody
he's
order
like-
mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, and somebody's like refill, you know, and like he was like, that's the first time nobody's ever sang that part, and it's very cringy. But I was like, I forgot that band existed.
Good song.
So when I saw that
Good song.
TikTok, I was like, failure to pay default, and thus that tribute
You
band.
got Mikey 2, you got Jason 1.
Yep. Jason, here's your next one. Oyster jelly. Now this one, somebody that I work with.
My brain went somewhere else.
No,
Sorry.
it's
Yeah, I was saying I gotta get by that part.
He
You're
came
right,
up
you're
with this
right.
one. Fantastic.
Yeah, this
So
is
Keith-
this is a Keith original.
Keith, I don't know if he's on tonight.
That'd be Pearl Jam.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, bro.
Which I think we
me
all
too.
pretty much understand what Pearl Jam actually is.
We all know what it is.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mikey. Your next one is Contagious Pooch.
Casey's got it.
Don't be telling him, Casey. Now, if Mikey doesn't have a guess, Jason, and you know it, you can steal the point.
Right in the pocket for you, Jason.
But hold your steal until he says he's out.
Waiting.
I don't want to use my other hint, so I'm going to pass on it.
Oh no, you get 2 like per.
No.
No, I get 2 for 5. Shut up.
2 per every one you get.
Yeah,
you get
no,
2 per.
I
Really?
have no idea.
This is a little out of pocket for you.
That
And
would
which,
be Sick Puppies.
oh, he nails it.
Yeah,
He
Nails
steals
it.
the point.
He steals.
It's now 3-2.
Oh, what an odd one.
Woo.
What an odd one.
Meh.
What out of all the ones that you've gotten,
That's
that
right.
I'm like,
That's
holy
right where
shit,
Mikey.
he got
That's right
that.
where Mikey kind of drops off. That's right.
Right there?
It's a shelf. That's the shelf.
Dude, Sick
yeah.
Puppies is amazing, dude.
You can
You
pretty
should
much.
really dive deep into that.
They're a good
It's great.
band. They're a good band. But Mikey really kind of drops.
Extremely good looking bass player.
Trap is really kind of where Mikey turns back into Van Halen.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. All right, Jason, your next one. Reject.
It's probably like really simple too. Hang on.
I have mixed emotions on this one.
Yeah, you didn't like this
Yeah,
one all that much.
I didn't like the
Sometimes Tim doesn't like the names that I
Sometimes
pick
I'm
on.
nicely like that sucks.
Well, he also didn't like Contagious Pooch. He wanted Infected Canine.
Yeah, I wanted Infected Canine.
A little sooner. Why don't you give me a clue?
This would be
Late 90s, early
late
2000s.
90s, early 2000s hip hop duo.
Perfect hint. Good hint.
It's right there. Hang on. No, man, it's right there too. I think I know it. No, that's not it. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Duo. Man, I'm gonna pass this because when I hear it, I'm gonna be mad, but I'm gonna pass.
Mikey, any idea?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm telling you, man.
Nobody's
As
got
soon as you
it.
say it,
Now, what if I would have said leper? Does that give you guys either one of you guys?
No.
Leper.
no.
No, because
I wouldn't have had a good one for this. What if
no?
the hint I gave you was Rosa Parks?
Oh, Outcast.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
yeah. That's good. Well, that's good. No, that's a good. Now I hear it.
Yeah.
Reject.
He gets you there.
Oh, that's good. No, that's good. Actually, it's good once you hear it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good though.
No point awarded. Still
But you got the
3-2.
steal, so it's still 3-2, Jason.
Yeah. Still 3-2, Jason. Mikey, home of the free.
A fresh off the America episode.
Yeah.
I don't even. Did I get this?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
Well, you told me you were like, that's too much on the head, right? And I was just like, just go with it.
Yeah.
And tell me what the first thing that comes to your mind. It's hard,
Like
but
I
it's
said,
easy.
man, I'm notably garbage at this game. I always feel so bad about myself when I play this.
But you were also very
Like-
surprised that I knew who this band was.
I was. Yeah.
And I knew who they were, but this actually was stemmed out of something. Also, Keith.
Mhm.
So this was Keith that came up with Oyster Jelly.
Did you already get both your hints?
No, I still have another.
Yeah.
one.
He had a different name, but it was stemmed off of something he said
Yeah.
for this.
And
Much
there
like
was no way
Contagious
after
Pooch.
you told me this, there was no way I didn't listen to this band.
Yeah,
Tell you that much.
Yeah, throw me my other hint.
This band came out in 1971.
No, fucking
70s classic rock band.
Tim, I'll let you throw out another hint because you probably know a little bit more.
Give you
Is it America?
boom, he nails
Oh,
it. I was trying real hard to get to a
America.
point where I could tell you about a horse with no name.
And
But yeah.
Tim out here just being like fresh off of the America.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the
Well,
hell?
'cause
Tim?
I heard
Like,
him
what
say
the
that,
hell?
and like my brain originally was like
Like I
home of the
said.
free. I'm like, that's America.
America.
That's where we're at. But then I was like, no, it's not going to be that
Yeah.
easy.
Hell
And
yeah.
The
it
horse
was.
with no name.
Not the best song. Not the best song.
Yeah.
Best song they have.
I hate this game.
Jason, your next one.
3-3 all
is-
tied up.
I love this one. How many licks to get to the center of the municipality? I love this name. This is
That's
on
a really good name.
this is on the cusp
I
of
dis- I-
recently developed children entering the neighborhood,
I
which was
disagree.
New Kids on the Block, by the way.
I disagree.
No, dude, this is a great name, and it's going on the shirt. I
Yeah,
don't
we
care.
will be making a shirt. And Jason, just a heads up, you know, if
Mm-hmm.
you ever do venture into Granite City, eventually we get to a place where every guest takes home a tour shirt of this game.
Of all the
Okay.
tribute bands will be
Sounds
on
good.
the back.
Let's
All
see.
the tribute bands will be on the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
The center.
How many licks to get to the center of the municipality?
I just don't agree.
It's a dude.
That's
Yeah.
a good name.
Do not feel bad if you don't get
You
those.
got any idea, Mikey?
Not
I'll,
really.
I'll go ahead and just use my last hint so I can make sure I stay ahead here.
Good luck with the hint too, bud.
Yeah, I didn't really think of a hint for this one.
like you just
Wow.
thought this was so obvious. I got nothing for you either on a hint.
What was the mascot for a Tootsie Roll?
It's Tootsie Pop,
Tootsie Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the commercial.
All right, hang on.
What was the
A
mascot?
two.
Okay, I got you. That's a good one. Owl. I don't know that band. Say Owl City. That doesn't make sense. Though.
Oh, fucking nails
He
it.
just throws it out there.
Is that it? Okay, there.
That's
That's what I was
Owl
going with.
City.
City.
dude.
Look, municipality is another word for city or town. How many
Yeah.
licks does it get to the center? Is what the mascot, Mr. Owl,
I voted
would
no.
say.
I voted no.
dude. It's a fantastic.
It's good,
I
and he
love
got it. Like
He got
That's
it.
The
good.
fact that he got
All
it
right,
makes
I'll
it all
take
I
it.
better.
love that one so much.
Owl City. All right, good to know.
4-2, Mikey. You got you
4-3.
4-3. He got the last one.
Oh yeah, Mikey did get America.
I got you
Sorry,
written
sorry,
down. I
sorry.
promise.
There you go, Mikey. Your next one.
Trying to steal your point. bro.
Appreciative deceased.
Grateful Dead.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nothing made me feel more stupid than when I couldn't get that one.
I didn't get that one.
No,
he
I kept
he
saying
didn't.
Thankful Dead. Thankful Dead. I
Thankful
don't know.
Dead.
Thankful
Yeah,
Dead.
and I said, Tim. I was like, just say what you're saying right now.
Dumb game
Thankful
anyway.
Dead. and he was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know what it is. All right, Jason, your last one
And you guys are
For
all
the
tied
win.
up 4-4, man.
for the win.
Pressure's on.
Yep.
Not really.
Rail car.
Uh,
This is a gimme.
That's a gimme.
It was
I thought you were giving him this first.
Just that train.
Nailed it.
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
Nailed it. Jason is undefeated at Trib.
Jason is undefeated.
100%.
I got host there at the end.
You did.
Yeah.
Jamie voted no to the how many licks does
Yeah.
it take to get to the center of the
Yeah.
municipality as well.
It sounds like
which-
you're trying to tell me what the new Cardi B song is, and I don't fucking know it. Like, I don't get it, man.
I'm just saying, bro.
Hey, you killed that though, man.
Yeah.
I'll take
Second,
it. Thank you.
like
Very clever. Yeah, that was
two
good.
of our three guests. Hell yeah. 2 of our 3 guests killed this game.
Mhm.
Megan did not.
Hey,
We still love you, Megan. We still
Yeah,
love
no,
you.
hey,
no.
hey, I'm just
absolutely.
happy I didn't misspell anything.
Jesus
The
Christ.
the
dude.
last one I did, I
It was
thought
so dumb
it was
too.
Fate Baby.
Fate baby.
I spelled baby wrong,
Jesus.
and
It happens.
I also gave her the answer to one.
you read the answer to one of the questions and then like,
Yeah.
what would you name that tribute?
What would you
man?
name that?
Fucking dumb. Well, man, we've been on for like 2 hours. We appreciate the hell out of you coming in, man.
Oh, Keith
man,
is
it's
in
fun.
here.
Hey, we used your tribs, man.
We used your trips.
Yeah. Shout out to Keith.
Oyster jelly
Oyster jelly
and Home of the Free
Home
is
of
the one I
Free.
named for
Yeah.
America. I forget what he had.
You have something else?
It was I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
I took
USA.
artistic liberty and changed it a bit.
I
but
changed it.
Home of the Free was America, Keith. So,
Like I said, man, thank you so much for coming on. We'll link the podcast and everything. Do you have anything you want to shout out? You got anything
I
going?
guess I'll go with we got to get all the socials out there and everything just to
Yeah.
throw it out there. Blues Hockey Podcast. We say weekly. That ain't really happening right now. So once we get me and Chris will get together. Actually, we're trying to record earlier this week, and then just fell apart. So as you guys know, things fall apart sometimes.
The great thing is you guys have such a bank, man. How many episodes have you had?
We're slightly above 250. I think 259. I think is what I was looking at last time.
A lot of episodes, man.
Yeah. So
you got a healthy bank for people.
Yeah. So please check it out. We have a lot of deep dive into it. Probably the couple that I'm most proud of is a couple. We have 2 interviews. 3, I'd say, notable interviews that we did. I think we interviewed Craig Janney, which is Chris's all-time favorite player. Like how that came about is the weirdest thing in the world, but it worked out. So Chris was able to get a hold of him, and we got him on the podcast, and that was a really fun time. Like I said, I would talk to you guys earlier. We talked to Theo Fleury, and it was very good. I'm probably most proud of that one because it was got to talk hockey stuff, which is great. And very much about mental health. So that was another big thing. So I was really proud of that episode. And also before he had his own podcast, Stars and the Stripes, we had Tim Peel on, and we got to talk about kind of all the stuff he had to go through, all the, controversy he had and stuff. So it was very nice to kind of talk to that. And sprinkled in there, we do have some hockey knowledge and wrestling stuff, of course. So just check us out. We're on the Facebooks and Instagram at Blues Hockey Podcast. The Twitter X, whatever it's called now, is at Blues Hockey NHL.
Yeah.
You can find us on wherever you have podcasts, you'll find us. It's out there. So luckily with what we use, it throws it out in every directory out there: Spotify, Apple, Google.
Zune.
We might have I forgot Zune, and then we also, if you look hard enough, we might have something on Grindr, Tinder, whatever you guys
can find.
Found
you guys.
Yeah. So just look everywhere. Well, I'm sure we have it there. So thanks to anybody for everybody listening to us. Thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun. Man. This is awesome. So really happy to see another hockey podcast out there.
Hell yeah, dude! And
doing fun stuff. So
like
I really
listening to your show, gave me the kind of huevos to be like, hey, we should do a show. Like seeing people that you can actually reach out and touch and talk to, actually do a show like you guys. Mm-hmm. Big influence for me personally. So I really appreciate it, man.
It's awesome, man.
And dude, open invitation. Any damn time you want to waste 2 hours, we're here every week.
Anytime you need me, man, I'm always around. Talking hockey, wrestling, everything.
Like I said, we'll have our social department just like your social department, man. I know you pay them just like we pay ours, and they charge
big dollars,
shit ton, dude. But we'll have them link everything up for your guys' podcast on our posts and everything for the week going forward. Which brings me to get a hold of us, merch. The most merch of a show, like a show that has more merch than listeners, right? Mm-hmm. Koozies, cups, the stickers, the business cards, it's all there. You want the business cards and the stickers, all you have to do is contact me, and our social media department will mail that out to you for free. Hit us up on the email, mostlyhockeypodcast@gmail.com. All the socials, hit us up on the socials. Speaking of Twitter X, and I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know if anybody here actually practices on Twitter X or not. The Mostly Hockey Podcast has by far the most ISIS bots following us than I have ever seen one social media platform be followed by.
Yep.
Mostly Hockey Podcast, huge with ISIS bots. Number one for some reason. And you can't delete a follower. That's the bitch of it.
Yeah.
Right? Sucks. Hit us up on the socials, though. We want to thank GCRX Podcasting Network for letting us do our thing here. Back to you guys on Thursdays after tonight. Tonight's our last Wednesday show. So coming back to you Thursdays, which means you can come down here. You can see us live. You can sit outside of that window right there. Come on down to the Garden Gate Tea Room, the Downtown Diner, the Board Gamery, all up and running and open on Thursdays, which we start back at next week. So, boys, you got anything else here? No? No?
We good.
Man, we want to say thank you. Huge thank you to Jason one more
Thanks
time.
a lot, man.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Guys, I appreciate it.
Yay.
That's the right button. Good job, dude.
Hell yeah. Follow us on OnlyFans.
Hold up. Her sister was a witch, right?
That's not hockey, it's only game. Why don't you get to be mad?
Grow up, bro. Grow up.
This concludes another episode on GCRX Radio, your podcast network. The views and opinions expressed are those of the content creators and not of the podcast network.